the most combative radio host on the planet.
You're going to be doing a lot of doobie rolling when you're living in a van down by the river.
Such a sexy radio host.
He was no slouch in bed.
You son of a bitch.
Man, I'm so hyped right now. Anything's possible. Anything's possible!
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
This town needs an enema. I'm gonna make him an offer again.
Now, live on ESPN Radio, the Jim Censabella Show.
Are you ready? Because it's my time.
Back here on a gorgeous Thursday outside. What the hell? It's a little cloudy out. Right before 4th of July coming up tomorrow. Check your local forecasters for the fireworks in your area because they're moving them all around because they really don't know what the hell is going to go on with the weather now. The Jim Censabella Sports Show afternoon drive here, ESPN Radio, New Hampshire. Go to espnnhradio.com. Check out our new Fashizzle website, which is absolutely rocking. Check it out. Also, check us out on the Facebook page, ESPNNH Facebook. Jim Censabella Show is also on Facebook. Yes, today we got Tim Britton coming on at 3:30 Providence Journal, and by the powers that be, we're still waiting, but we should have Jack Edwards joining us from the Nesson and the Boston Bruins here about 4:30 today.
For shizzle.
So lots going on here. Red Sox, tough night. Red Sox last night. And look to keep it going this weekend. I guess which way they want to keep it going is the real choice with the way the Red Sox are playing right now. So I don't know what just happened when he just hit, but all of a sudden I can't hit anything. Put your butt back in. Okay, now. Yeah, whatever you touch it. Thank you. Now don't take your hand off. There you go. You're good. Thank you. I don't know whatever you hit there, but I just went off. So I'm back on. Lots going on in the world of sports. Hockey trades still continue to happen right now. The free agent market is still going crazy. But for the hell of it, why don't we just kick right in? We'll chat some Bruins hockey. We'll talk about the Red Sox problems. Nick Anastas, as soon as he plugs his ass in here, will be joining me too shortly. And we're going to have a quick show today, 3 to 5, as it is a 4th of July getaway this weekend. And a lot of you, I'm sure, want to get the hell out of here. It's some great weather, too. So feel free to give us a shout, 603-883-9900. Forget about it Friday. You can also use up Friday hotline there at Texas at 503-52. And we'll get going as far as all the sports we'll talk right now. The LeBron talk, the Carmelo talk. Now he's in L.A. talking to the Lakers. All kinds of things going on in the NBA right now. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me. Appreciate it. Nice seeing you here. Nice seeing you here, too.
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you, too. You son of a bitch, as they said.
Always a pleasure.
What the hell's going on with the Red Sox, Nick? So we sell her or what?
Not yet. Still too early. You know
Really?
me.
Really?
Listen, you got the rest of the month. Okay,
here we go.
that's what I think.
Here we go.
I think you take your time. You see what happens. This could be a whole different story next week. Okay, we know how streaky this team is, right?
I give you credit, man. At least you're sticking to your guns.
No,
I'll give you
the
that.
bottom line is it's too early. It's still early July is the bottom line.
The bottom line is they ain't getting done, buddy. It's all over.
You can make up games more quickly in baseball than in other sports.
Well, with a
obviously.
combination of help, obviously, if the team at the top's starting to lose. But, I mean, come on. How much more time? It's not like they've had peaks and valleys that have been that good where it's brought them a game or two out. I mean, they're 8.5 games out now. Mm-hmm. They continue to lose to a crappy Chicago team at home, by the way. Mm-hmm. Workman looked like he was giving up bombs. I thought the 4th of July started last night in Fenway. From the amount of hits that guy had given up and everybody else did.
Bad start, yeah.
I mean, I'm just trying to figure out, are you wishful thinking? I mean, come on.
No, I'm just not ready to sell everybody right now.
All right.
Not. Again, there's 5 playoff spots up for grabs.
Can I just stop you for a second? They lost 16-9 last night.
I know.
16-9.
At least they scored 9.
At least they scored 9. And they were just trying anybody out there to pitch for Chicago. The game was over. I mean, 16-9 at home?
It's bad, and it's probably the low point in the season. Okay, you're 7 under on the road at 18-25. You're 20-2 now at Fenway Park. You've lost 3 in a row. You've lost 6 of the last 10. Yeah. And you're 9 games under 500, 8.5 out of the division.
Yep.
It's probably the low point right now.
It is.
That being said, Can you still close out the month of July strong? Yes.
Sure you could.
Can you still cut into that lead in both the East and in the wild card? Yes.
Do you have the team that can
And will
compete?
you still, Jim, at the end of the month, have your trade options that you have now?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
How so?
Because
Yes.
if you continue to play the same way you've played, yes, I love that. If you continue to play the same way you've played all year long so far, does this team have a shot at the playoffs? No.
Yes!
Do they have a shot to even get any further than the playoffs? No.
Yes!
Okay? So they're not a playoff baseball team right now.
Not right now.
They're not. And they haven't been all year. And you cannot get any more out of this team. Nobody else is going to pick it up. You got a guy like Poppy that really, truly, we said it yesterday, is trying really to carry all the burden on him. The way he's swinging at pitches, like Rich said yesterday, swinging for home runs. He's not swinging to move guys around the base. Why? Because they don't have a lot of guys on the base. You know, you don't have – I'm sorry. Listen, this team doesn't have the kind of players that are going to get you through these rounds against teams like Toronto and Detroit and Oakland. It's not going to happen. And you know what? It was a fantastic story of what happened to the Boston Red Sox last year. Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
All these players played above and beyond what their expectations were. You expected it out of Pedroia. What you got? You expected it out of Poppy. I think you got a lot more out of Poppy than you thought you were going to get last year. Your pitching staff was pretty solid, and Urahara was lights out. Okay? And then you had guys like coming off the bench filling in like Gomes. You had a guy like Nava you didn't expect to play the way he played. He was one of the better hitters in the league last year. Okay? The only guy you lost was Ellsbury. And, you know, you needed to have an extra bat, some sort of player like that could steal bases, hit consistently, and have a high batting average. You don't even have that this year.
Go ahead, Rich.
What the hell are you going to do now?
I was just going to say, there's no part of you that's excited to watch this team. They started three rookies in the outfield last night.
Oh, yeah, no. It's
Mookie Betts,
exciting to see
Brock
the younger
Holt.
players. I'm not
Yeah,
saying that.
No, but I'm
But
just
you're not
saying.
going to win games going forward.
But I'm standing by my argument. He said he's sticking to his guns, and I'm sticking by my argument that it's okay. We won the World Series last year. Now we have a bunch of young talent. Mookie Betts looks like a phenom. He had a home run last night that was an absolute blast over the Green Monster.
We asked Dave O'Brien yesterday, can the Red Sox Nation, you had gone, you were out doing the game.
I heard it, though.
Can Red Sox Nation survive with every other year, you know, being that really kind of team last year, all right, even if they don't win the World Series, but getting there, and then having a lackluster year the following year? And he said, it's a good question. He said, you know, consistency is great, but if you're not getting to the dance, what's the point?
Right.
And I think if the Red Sox had not, let's just say the Red Sox played just as bad as they did this year and the year before, and you had 3 years in a row like this, there'd be heads rolling. But winning a World Series makes all the pain go away, even the year before and now the year after. I think it's cool to watch these guys. I think Bogarts in another year is going to be a phenomenal player. I think Jackie Bradley could be the next Kenny Lofton when he was high in his game.
Mookie Betts might be the best
I mean,
of the bunch. Brock
Torrey
Holt's up there
Hunter.
for Rookie
Kenny
of the
Lofton.
Year.
Bradley could be
Unbelievable.
another Torrey Hunt. Your pitching staff right now, some of the young guys that need some time. That's the part that, as much as I say, is it okay to trade a Lackey, a Lester, you have trade bait. Your pitching's really not the problem this year.
Right. I
It's
agree with
really your hitting. You don't have that. But in order to get said player, you either go out in the free agent market, clear some of your payroll from some of these big guys. And here's what I say. Keep Lester. Keep Lackey. Urahara, what's he signed through? It can't be more than another year or two.
I think it's through next year. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep him. Now, you got to go out and clear some payroll, right? You know Steven Drew ain't coming back next year. Forget about that, right? You know Pedroia's here. Poppy will be back here, okay? Then look around the field at that point. What's left? You got a Jackie Bradley Jr. You got a Bogarts, right? That deal with Nava's got to be done after this year. Gomes has got to be done after this year. Napoli, I'd say keep him around. Give him a shot. But go out to the free agent market and spend some money. Because you do have some young, exciting players.
All right, hold on. Let me look again at this year moving forward.
Sure.
Okay, the next month, let's say.
Yep.
Let's say between now and the trading deadline, what needs to improve? Obviously the hitting, right? So let's focus in on the
I'll
offense
pull the
first.
stats up while you're doing
Right-handed
Okay.
bat, power bat, right-handed
Okay.
power bat.
Right. Now, do you think you can get more out of Dustin Pedroia?
that. No.
He's
Yes.
playing
No,
pretty
you
good lately.
can't.
Yes, you can.
Lately, he's
Hold
been
on.
better, but on the hold, can you have a better second
Yes.
half to the season
Second half
from
of the
Dustin
season.
Pedroia?
Offensively,
Yes.
Defensively,
Did I not
no.
pull up the stats from the last 5 years, how in every category he has gone down
He's
the last
declined.
5
Right,
years?
he's on the way out.
Except
So,
defense.
but hold on. Could he have a better half season than he's had now?
Right.
I agree with you there.
Right.
But if you expect any more like you had 5 years ago or 4, you're not going to get it.
Nope.
So are we talking second half of the season?
I'm talking
Again,
second half versus
Sorry,
what
I
we've
thought
seen
I
so
thought you meant
far.
next
But again,
year.
defensively, he can't. He's the best.
Defense is not going to win you
I know.
ball
No, I'm
games.
just saying, he's the best second baseman defensively in the league.
Okay. Doesn't make it. But the problem you have is hitting right now.
Yeah,
No,
we're talking about hitting.
We're talking about hitting.
I know.
All right, so you look for a little bit more from Pedroia moving forward, correct? We're all in agreement on that.
Yeah, from the first half
Okay.
of the year. I'll go right down the stats with you. Absolutely.
Okay, Mike Napoli is next.
You need more from him. You can have a better second half from him. Absolutely.
Exactly. Okay, there's another one.
Yep.
All right, Brock Holt.
No.
Can he continue?
He can continue, but I mean, he can't.
Or does he take a step back moving forward?
If he takes a step back to be average, and these other guys excel,
Right.
then you're good. Keep
Okay.
going.
Bogarts.
Can definitely have a better.
He's
second
hitting
half.
242 with an ops under 700.
Can I answer the question for you?
Slumping hard.
Can I answer the make a question? I
Go
know where
ahead.
you're going. They all can have a better second half.
Okay.
From hitting.
So therefore, how can you write them off before even the 4th of July is over?
Because happiness breeds content. And this is not a happy ball club right now over there.
Mm-hmm.
They're not hitting well. They've tried everything under the sun to try to make that lineup better. What they have to do, in other words, what they have in the system. You're already starting to bring up young guys from Pawtucket.
Yep.
I think in the background, they've already cashed it in as an organization, not the players. As an organization, bringing a guy like Betts up, bringing these players up. Brock Holt's going to play the rest of the season. He's playing fantastic. What is the point that even if these guys have – you got to go like 60 – the hell was it I saw? 60-something and 20 just to even get a shot to even get into the playoffs. Now, because you got to
Wait a
remember –
minute, where's that math coming from?
well, if you're 8.5 out of the
Yeah.
first place and
Yeah.
you're 7.5 out of the wild card,
Yeah.
you got to figure the other teams all have to play below 500. So if they all have to play below 500, you have to have that many more games doubled from the 7.5 and the 8.5 to even get in contention of a wild card right now. You're 7.5 out. Toronto would have to all these other teams would have to fail. Of course, you have to figure it out. Just math.
40 games over 500?
No. The rest of the year, how many games are left? 80? You got to win it. Where you are right now, what's your record?
So again, you're saying you have to go 60 and 20?
Last
games?
week it was 60 and 23 the rest of the year to even get into the playoffs. To even get to where you were. Well, how many wins you got right now?
Well, that ain't happening.
38 and 47 right now.
So you need about 90-something wins.
9 games out of the wild card.
So to get in the wild card, you need to be at least 90 wins. So how's my math not off? 60
well, you
is
said
a
60.
Well, yeah.
60 would put them at 98. They don't need to win 98 games to get the second wild card.
Really? Go look
Yeah.
at the wild card standings.
I've got them right here.
Okay, go ahead. What's the leader right now? Top two
The
guys in
Angels,
the wild card. How many wins?
47 and 36.
Okay, so if they're 47 and 36, they're the number one wild card guy? What's the
Yes.
second one?
Seattle.
Same thing, right?
47 and 38.
Okay. So even if they go and they win 40 games, 87 or whatever, you still need to get over 90. Maybe I'm a little stretched. You still got to win the next 55 games you got to win the rest of the year. 55.
That's about right. Yeah.
That's tough
Yep.
for this team.
It's tough, but again, it's baseball. You can win games in bunches.
You can go in stretches, sure. You can be like the Oakland A's and win 21, and the last team to do that prior to them was the Philadelphia Athletics in the 20s.
You don't need to win 20 in a row. You need to win 2 out of 3.
If you got 80 games
Moving
left,
forward,
if
sure.
you got 8 out of 8, if you do the math, let's figure this out. So if
They're
you
going
got
to start winning some series.
Yeah.
They can't lose any more.
You got to
series.
win 2 out of 3s.
Right.
If you
or
do
split
that,
the 4s or whatever. But
3 and 80. Do the math on that. 80 games. Yeah. Even if you did it, if you won 2 out of every 3 or 3 out of every 4 series, yeah, that's
close.
what it would take.
Right.
A happiness breeds content. Go back to what I just said. You're gonna see more guys coming up from.
I still think though that you've got your trade options that you have today are still there the day before the trade deadline
they
at the
are
end of the
unless
month.
somebody gets hurt.
Correct.
If Uehara keeps now, he obviously didn't have an opportunity last night to close, right? Because there was no opportunity. Even if you were going to kick 2 field goals,
He had some much needed rest
sure.
last night. Yes.
Now, if he can listen, if everybody's jumping on the bandwagon, all these other people calling in on this show and other shows I've heard enough, and you and I both have started laughing about it yesterday. Are you kidding me? Really? You're going to start jumping over saying we should possibly trade him? The reason why we talked about it and I mentioned trade him was because of his age.
And he's an asset.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's an asset who's one of the best closers in baseball right now. So why wouldn't you go out there now and start filling out some? And I'm sure they are in the background. Listen,
Sure.
There's no doubt in my mind that Sherrington's been working the phones for the last 2 weeks. No doubt in my mind.
It's the GM's job year round.
Right. But I
to
mean,
work
now
the
you
phones.
know you're like, okay, we're not playing that good. Timely hitting. You probably have one of the best defensive inside infielders in Drew and in Pedroia, but ain't going to win you any games. It's not going to win you any games.
No, not when you hit like that, obviously.
Your pitching staff, if the Red Sox were a 500 ball club or better, we said this yesterday, John Lester's record should be, instead of whatever it was, 8-7, should be an 11-3, 11-4, whatever. It should be a better record. Lackey should have a better record. All these guys should. Urahara should have easily another 8 to 10 saves if they were just a half-decent season this year, and they're not. And if you got the assets now, why wait? Why wait? Why not get ahead? I don't know.
I thought it was interesting. I believe it was Dave O'Brien yesterday on the show said that, maybe Lester is a trade option. You give him a wink and a nod. You say, okay, we're going to let you go. We're going to let you compete. We don't need you to be here if we're going to mail it in. And the understanding would be we would like to get you back. We would like to spend the money in the offseason and get Lester back. Now, that seems a little far-fetched to me. So coming from Dave O'Brien, I'll entertain it.
I never thought of that scenario, too. I mean, he's only signed to the end of the year.
Right.
So say a team like, shoot the breeze, go anywhere in the National League.
Oakland or whoever.
And then the opportunity to say, look, we're going to do this because we can get some assets right now.
Yeah.
But we want you next year. But he's also going to be wanted by a lot of teams, not just the Boston Red Sox.
It's going to be a bidding war either way.
So the Red Sox, were the Red Sox better off doing the right thing when he wanted to re-sign prior to the season started and work out a contract with him?
They should have handled that already.
Because if he goes out to another team and gets on a really good team, he's probably gonna come on that team not as an ace, but probably a second or third pitcher, right? Because most of these teams
depends on where it goes.
Well, if they're in a team that's competing, it's really good because he's not gonna go to a small market team. So he's going to go to a bigger market team.
He'd be the ace in, like, Toronto.
Sure.
Yeah.
But at that point, if he goes out and has a team that hits, right, and it's timely hitting like he had last year, he's going to have one hell of a record. His stock just rose. And now,
no doubt.
If you could have had him, just using a number, if you could have had him for $13 million at the beginning of the season, if the Red Sox could have signed him to a long-term deal, say $10 to $13 million.
See, it wouldn't have been that low, though.
But I'm just saying, I'm using a number.
Right.
Now, all of a sudden, because he has a great...
It jumps up.
It jumps to
whatever.
15,
right.
16, 18, 20.
Right.
So... Did you not do the right thing back then?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And I think there are a lot of people who are finding that out the hard way. Lester is pitching out of his mind.
But what if you get...
He's having a career year. 114 innings, 115 punch-outs, sub-3 ERA, sub-120 whip. Those are very good. Forget the wins and losses.
Right. But what if you get a guy now, you can trade a John Lester, you get a pretty good ball player.
Right.
Okay? Probably what you really want to focus on is a pitcher for a hitter. Well, no, I think you have an opportunity to get somebody that... Maybe they got a young guy coming up in that organization they know is already going to be there, and they really need the pitching. And they got plenty of hitting. Maybe you land a 25 home run, 80 RBI, batting 280 kind of guy that steals bases. Let's just say, for instance, maybe it wasn't such a bad idea because you get an asset. Okay, maybe you got to pay more money for John Lester next year. But now, if you worked it out in the money scheme, you got a guy. Maybe he's got a couple years left in his contract, and he might be a little cheap. Maybe either way, you can make an argument for it right now. Signing him at the beginning of the year or not?
Yeah, but again, whichever team is making the deal for Lester knows the risk that they're running, that he could be a rental player for 2 or 3 months. So are they going to give up a quality ready-now hitter, damage themselves on offense to take a risk on a guy who's going to trot out to the mound once every 5 days for 3 months? I don't know.
Well, I tell you what, if you're a team like the Detroit Tigers or you're tired of coming up short, or a team like the Toronto Blue Jays who you're just as happy to be there, Oakland, doesn't have probably a lot, but if you go to the National League, listen, the Dodgers, San Francisco, St. Louis, Milwaukee, Atlanta, Washington, some talented ball players on that team, okay? Timely hitting is not their problem. Some of them, it's just pitching. I don't know. You can make a case for both sides. To me, you got to start doing something. What else is the problem with adding one good hitter on this team? And maybe, if, like you said, guys like Pedroia have a better second half. Napoli has a better second half, right? Bogarts has a better second half. You bring a guy into that locker room that's a pretty decent hitter having a good season, maybe all of a sudden things turn around. Okay, you lose John Lester, but...
Let me give you a name.
Sure.
His name is Marlon Byrd.
Love Marlon Byrd.
He's 36 years old. He's a journeyman, but he's having a late career resurgence.
Last couple of years, absolutely.
Including this year. He's on a 1-year deal. Philadelphia's done.
Yep.
Right? Wouldn't that make sense? Put him at the 6th spot. You could put him in anywhere in the middle of the order.
What do you got to give up? They don't need a pitcher.
You don't want to sell the farm. So,
but and he's like you said, he's a 36-year-old guy having a late blooming career.
But if you're looking for a batter that can help you
now, go get him.
In the short term, if you're going to be a buyer.
Give a couple picks up. Who cares?
Right.
Who cares?
And the salary, whatever.
Because he's going to be gone real
I think
shortly.
He's making $8 million for the rest of the year.
Somebody's picking him up quick.
Yeah, he'll be traded. That's a name but now we're talking about the Sox being buyers, okay, which is the opposite of where you think they should head, right? That's the other direction in your opinion.
Well, my other direction was the whole Lester thing, right? Where if you sign him at the beginning of the year and he wouldn't have to worry about this.
Now you don't, right? If you had taken care of it, you wouldn't be in this boat.
But I'm still thinking that there's some sort of a value, like Dave O'Brien mentioned yesterday when he was on the show. He said, "Look, you could trade him, get some kind of good asset for him, and then he's a free agent in the offseason, re-sign him." Now, if a team goes after him, they might want to say, "Look, before we pull this trade off, he's got to sign a contract with us." That's the other thing. They
sign and trade, right?
Sign and trade, where he signs a 3-year deal and then boom, he gets shipped off. So. I mean, you're damned if you do right now, but, man, I'm telling you what, when you're 8.5 out, you're done. We're going to take a quick break when we come back. 603-883-9900, Jim Censabella Show live, ESPN Radio, New Hampshire. Go to espnnhradio.com. Jim Censabella Show. We'll be right back.
Hurry into Lowe's for this week's great deals, including 10 to 30% off major appliances $3.99 and up. Plus, get 18-month special financing when you use your Lowe's consumer credit card. Stop into Lowe's for these and other savings to help you update your home and get ready for a much-deserved long weekend. Lowe's, never stop improving. Offers valid 7/3 through 7/7. Exclusions apply. Purchases with a Lowe's consumer credit card subject to credit approval. See store or lowes.com for details.
New guidelines could mean that now you are. Give us a call and we'll give you a Quicken Loans mortgage review. It's simple and easy. And for 4 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. Call 800-QUICKEN. That's 800-QUICKEN. Or go to QuickenLoans.com for a mortgage experience that's engineered to amaze.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance calls. For cost information, equal housing lender license in all 50 states and MLS number 3030.
From police officers to firefighters to storm chasers, even race car drivers, expert drivers choose Goodyear tires for superior performance.
On and off the road, Goodyear is consistently making improvements to deliver superior performance tires. Everything Goodyear has learned making tires inspires what they roll into yours. It's even the official tire of NASCAR.
Goodyear tires are chosen by those who use the world as their proving ground. So wherever the roads take you, choose Goodyear tires with superior traction and handling.
Visit Goodyear.com to find a great set of tires. Goodyear, more driven.
Hi, Colin Coward for Men's Rogaine Foam, the official hair care sponsor of the 2014 FIFA World Cup. A lot of guys start to notice thinning hair, some earlier than others. But there's something you can do. Use Rogaine Foam. It's proven to help stop hair loss and even regrow hair. Plus, it's easy to use. Apply Rogaine Foam once in the morning and again at night. Takes less than a minute. Just use only as directed. Start using Rogaine Foam today. To save $15 on your next 4-month supply, go to Rogaine.com and use offer code FIFA.
The Nashua Silver Knights offer the best baseball experience in all of New Hampshire. The tickets are cheap, there's plenty of food and drink available, and the kids absolutely love it. Come down Thursdays for Dollar Draft Nights, every Thursday night throughout the season. There's always fireworks on Friday, plus there's a kids zone and entertainment between innings. It really is a great place to watch a ball game this summer. For scheduling and more information, log on to NashuaSilverKnights.com.
The Naki S. Loeb School of Communications is offering a series of free workshops on resume writing and job search skills at Nashua Community College. The sessions will be held on Monday, July 21st, July 28th, and August 4th from 5:30 to 8 p.m. in Room 150 in NCC's main building. Thanks to a generous grant from the Cogswell Benevolent Trust, the sessions are free, but space is limited, so registration is required. For more information or to register, visit www.lobeschool.org or call 603-627-0005.
Tropical Point Restaurant and Bar in Nashua has the best Spanish cuisine in the state of New Hampshire. Tropical Point captures the true Latin flavor with their exotic menu. Stop by for their amazing roasted chicken or pork shoulder, even their traditional fajitas and rice. The staff is friendly, the service is prompt, it really is a one-of-a-kind experience. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, or just drinks with friends, you can dine in Tropical Point's fun atmosphere or have it delivered right to your home or office. Plus, take advantage of their $5 lunch specials. And don't forget, the game is always on. So head over to the Tropical Point Restaurant and Bar on West Hollis Street in Nashua and like them on Facebook.
Tropical Point Restaurant and Bar, 58 West Hollis Street in Nashua. Call 603-889-9612. That's 603-889-9612 for true Latin flavor today.
Hi, it's Bob from Bob's Discount Furniture. Got tight quarters or need a guest bed? At only $7.99, my Sabrina Chaise sofa with queen sleeper is for you. Sits like a dream with my famous Bobopedic memory foam cushions. Plus, extra hidden storage in the Chaise. Swap out the inner spring sleeper mattress for my Bobopedic memory foam mattress, and it's only $8.99. Either way, it's an untouchable value. Buy in-store or online at mybobs.com.
Hey, sweetie, what's going on?
Well, honey, I have some news.
Okay, what?
All that training paid off. I got the job.
Oh, I knew you would get it. So when do you start?
When you donate stuff to Goodwill, you help provide job training for people right here in your community. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
You want sports? How about the Red Sox, Bruins, and Celtics? Hear them all right here on ESPN New Hampshire. Scores, standings, trades, and rumors. This is the ESPN New Hampshire Sports Center.
Next Saturday is the NASCAR Sprint Series race at Loudon. Eddie McDonald, New England's own, talked about racing in front of friends and family.
Doesn't get any better than this. I would say this is my first pick if I ever got to choose anywhere to run my first Cup race. Definitely be here. So just so excited to be able to run in front of all the New England guys and everything and friends and family.
Make sure you tune in next week, all week long, for chances to win tickets to the race up at Loudon next Saturday. Tonight is the Nashua Silver Knights Hometown Heroes Night at Holman Stadium, and they're taking on the Seacoast Mavericks. You can listen to all Silver Knight home games all season long on our sister station, WSMN 1590. The Boston Red Sox are off today before they welcome in the Baltimore Orioles for a weekend series. Meanwhile, the New Hampshire Fisher Cats are in Reading, trying to take 3 out of 4 against the Fighting Phil's Corey Aldridge will look to continue his hot ways as he's had a home run in each of the first 3 against Reading. And the Boston Bruins have signed goaltender Jeremy Smith. I'm Rich Flair, and the Sports Center was brought to you by CSA Graphics. For all your ESPN New Hampshire apparel, just visit espnnhradio.com. Didn't phase me.
Racing's down upon us. One more weekend, boys. Gentlemen, start your junk. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to join us next week, huh? Nice.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Little E.
I don't know anything.
I'm turn 4. I want to thank the, I love when they do this. I want to thank the Kmart, Walmart, Sears, Bugaboo Creek, Red Robin, Shell Gas Station, Darlene's Hair Salon, Chevrolet for all the work they did on our sponsors. It was great. We just had a tough run and our engine blew and, well, you know, the oil pan blew, and I'm going to get out of here and get myself down to the Waffle House. That's really about what they do at the event. Can you tell me how your engine blew? Well, it just blew. I don't know. I mean, that reminds me of Cole Trickle. Did you check?
Cole Trickle?
Comes
Days
in
of
backwards.
Days of Thunder?
Comes in backwards. Comes in reverse. All I got is reverse. And he comes back in reverse, whips it out at 360, parks it right there. 4 guys get on, change the tire, and boom, push him out. Love it.
Nicole Kidman at her best.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Cole Trickle. I love it. Cole Trickle, the race car driver. 603-883-9900, Jim Sensabella Sports Show. Broadcasting live here at downtown Nashua, New Hampshire. One of our fans.
Almost as good of a driver as Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Bobby. I love that.
Sound like you got peanut butter and
Listen,
stuck in the root of your mouth.
there's no better car race story than Stroker Ace back in the 80s with Burt Reynolds. You never saw Stroker Ace?
No.
Oh, we're going to have a Stroker Ace night here one night. He was a race car driver back when they had like Kyle Petty was in this race. All the wall trips were in it. This is back in like the 70s and the 80s when Burt
What's
Reynolds.
the name of the movie again?
It's called Stroke a Race.
Yeah, check it out.
And he's a race car driver, and so some guy comes to him named Clyde Turkle was the guy's name. He owns the Cluck and Chuck Chicken, and he sponsors the car. And the key, what's the thing I'm looking for? What's the word? The mono, what the hell do you call that? The lingo behind the car was the fastest chicken in the South.
Okay.
And it's called Stroke a Race. Yeah, Stroke a Race. I love it. Great movie. Burt Reynolds is in it. Lonnie Anderson's in it.
Ned Beatty.
Ned Beatty's he's the owner of the Cluck and Chuck. And Jim Neighbors is in it. Old Gomer Pyle dude's in it. All the race car drivers are in it. Rusty Wallace is in it when he was young. Dale Earnhardt's in it. They're all in it. Great, cool movie, man.
Came out in '83.
And you know who else is in it?
Who?
Bubba Smith.
I don't know who that is.
Bubba Smith
right.
was the defensive end for the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh,
all the
right.
commercials, the light
All
commercial. Right. No, Ed Too Tall Jones. Sorry, it wasn't Bubba Smith. Ed Too Tall Jones.
No, Bubba Smith is in the movie.
Is it Bubba Smith?
Yeah.
Okay, Bubba Smith is in it then. Right,
Became an actor after his retirement.
Yeah, Bubba Smith. Gotta love Bubba. 603-883-9900. Coming up at 3:30, we'll have I got papers covered all over here. Hang on.
Bubba Smith, the first overall selection in the '67 NFL draft. First overall.
Really?
Yeah.
Bubba Smith. He was in the light beer commercials too, right? Or was
Police
that
Academy.
Yeah, Police Academy too.
Oh, that's Hightower.
Hightower.
Oh, okay.
Better believe it, Brony dated the little one.
That's right.
Hightower. Let's bring him in right now from the Providence Journal. Red Sox beat Tim Britt. Sorry. You just told me.
Thumbs up was we'll have Jack Edwards. That was Jack. He called back to say he'll be on at 4:30.
Can you go across and bitch slap him across the head right now? 603-883-9900. At some point in a few minutes, Rich Flair is on fire today. It's okay, kid. Keep going. He's working hard.
Yeah, he is.
He's got his golf shirt on today. He's sweating.
He's gotten some big name guests here the last
He does.
24 hours.
That's why I'm not being a pain in the ass to him right now.
And we got Jack Edwards, Dave O'Brien, some of the best voices
Yes.
in the world.
Yes. I want to get Marv Albert on.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I
You
don't
would
know if I
have
can
man
handle
crush.
that. Marv Albert's the reason I'm a broadcaster.
Dude, I love Marv.
Period.
He's probably one of the reasons why I enjoyed listening to guys like him.
Period. You know,
Jordan.
He can bite whoever he wants.
Absolutely. I don't
as
care
far
what
as
kind of
I'm
underwear they had on. Who cares? I
Right.
can always remember the call. Jordan. Yes.
A spectacular move
I love
by
that.
Michael Jordan.
Why don't we call a game one night? You do Marv, I'll do Euchre.
Okay.
And I'll do it. I'll throw some we'll bring in Rodney Dangerfield. I'll bring my Ronald Reagan voice in.
All
and
right.
We'll have some fun.
All right.
2 out on the count now, and ball 4. Who the hell cares? Nobody's listening anyways. You can do a little Ronald Reagan and be like, well, you'll have to ask Nancy. You can do one of those Ronald Reagan ones. Those are always good. Who the hell?
How old is Bob Euchre?
Bob Euchre's got to be 75.
76?
Just a bit outside. He's great. I love Bob Euchre. 620-1.
It was a good article in Sports Illustrated about him.
Bob Euchre.
About a year ago.
Okay.
He's 80 on the nose, by the way.
Look at Richie. Richie's sweating. Where'd you get that white watch on? What are you, like Boys in the Hood, or is that Dolce & Gabbana?
No, that's an excellent piece of fine craftsman from your fine Fossil outlet.
Fossil outlet.
He's been wearing it.
It's white. Yeah, I like
it. Goes good with the baby.
By the way, you never wear a watch on the right side of the father, by the way. I don't know people that wear
Why?
watches on the right.
This
Because
is
you
my
just
left
don't.
hand.
I know, I'm just saying that. Always wear it on the left.
What if I came in tomorrow it was on the right wrist? You have a problem?
I'd bitch slap you. Yeah. That's it. I'd take it off you. Richard put you in the cocoon of horror, put you in a sleeper hole. We take it off, put it on the other arm, we wake you back up.
It matches
You
the
can't
baby-
wear it on the right.
Matches the baby blue shirt.
It is pretty short. I commented as you were running away, running away in your golf shirt. Can we bring him on now?
Yes,
For the
sir.
Providence Journal, joining the Jim Censabella Show. Tim Britton, how are you, buddy?
How are you, Jim?
I'm all right, man. It's Thursday, Friday. Tomorrow's 4th of July. The weather's gonna suck. I mean, what do you want? I mean, it's been 100 degrees out for the last week. How about you? What do you got planned for the 4th? You gonna go down there and watch the circus, or you gonna go away for a couple days?
I have tomorrow off.
Oh, good.
But with the rain in the forecast, I fear that I might find myself at a doubleheader sometime this weekend.
I think you're correct. Yeah. So talk to me. We've been kicking this around. We had Dave O'Brien on yesterday talking about it. I got to chat with Sam Kennedy a little bit today on the phone with some other things. And I asked the question, and I got the answer, but I can't tell you what his answer was. But I can tell you what Dave O'Brien was talking. And we've been talking about, is this team ready to be a seller? Do they think they still have a shot? You know, Nick and I disagree on this. Nick still thinks that, there's still a chance if some players that haven't played well in the first half of the season, a la Pedroia, Napoli, go down the list, really turn it around in the second half. complemented by, with Brock Holt's phenomenal play, and some of the younger guys get better. What the hell are we? Are they sellers or are they buyers 8.5 out today?
They haven't made the decision yet because they don't have to. I think it's, the odds are long. I don't know what the playoff probability is. I think it's under 5% now.
Yep.
But you do look at the division. We've said it all season long. This division's not any good.
Sure.
In the month of June, I think only the Orioles were over 500 in the division. The Red Sox lost no ground in a month where I think they were 12-15 or 12-16.
Yep.
But the 3-game sweep here to Chicago, this was. You come off a series win over the Yankees, you take 2 out of 3, and you finish that road trip on something resembling a good note. And then you look at the schedule and you say, okay, we've got 10 games at home. We've got a last-place team in the Cubs. We've got a team we're chasing in the Orioles. We've got 4 against the White Sox team that we should be able to beat in a series. And you get swept in the first 3 to the Cubs, which is obviously a terrible start. And you find yourself now 8.5 back when you were 6 back on Sunday night.
Yep.
So I think you probably give yourself the All-Star break. The problem is the market hasn't really formed yet, so it's not like there are teams that are selling and the Red Sox are missing out by not declaring themselves sellers right now.
Yeah,
it's a buyer's market for sure at this point because so many teams are in it. But if they continue to struggle on this homestand, if they don't take advantage of that road trip to Houston right before the All-Star break, if they're sitting there 9 games under 500 at the All-Star break, then you look at the chances of getting back into it are slim indeed.
You're looking at a team right now that if there was some glimpse of hope at some point during the season, and they haven't been. I mean, there's not a lot of consistency on this team. And the pitching, to me, hasn't been that bad at all. I mean, last night was pretty embarrassing, but for the most part, pitching's been well. If Urahara was able to get in some more games, he'd have at least a good 7 or 8 more saves on it under his belt right now. Really, it's been the consistency of the hitting. But I guess my biggest thing, and some names were kicked around with Dave O'Brien yesterday, well, what about John Lester? You can trade him, get some kind of get anything for him, and then have the opportunity to go ahead and re-sign him on the free agent market last year. But I mean, right now, 5% chance. Moses could come down right now, and it doesn't matter. This team's not going to get into the playoffs. At what point do you have a little bit of an upper hand to start being a seller before the other teams do?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how big of a seller you would want to be in that circumstance. Obviously, if you put Lester on the market, that would be a big deal because you've got the Cubs who are holding on to Samardzija for the time being. He's got a 1.5 years left on his contract, so they don't have to move him now. And they seem to be, asking for as much as they can get in return for him. The Rays are in a similar situation with Price. Now that the Rays are only a game behind the Red Sox, maybe they're looking at the division and saying, we don't have to trade David Price right now. We can hold on to him until the offseason and see what happens. So if you put Lester on the market, obviously that changes, he becomes the big name out there. I don't get the sense that they're going to do that because I think there's still a thought process that they can re-sign him and reach an extension, even if that doesn't seem likely during the season. And I do think that trading him probably eliminates your chances of getting him back in the offseason. Even though he'd be a free agent again, I don't think you're going to sign him after you trade him.
Why do you say that? Why do you say that?
It's just, I mean, it would seem that trading him is kind of, one of the reasons that Lester wants to sign with the Red Sox and have that kind of hometown discount that he talked about in the spring is the idea of being with the same team his whole career, being a Red Sox for life. And if you move him, even if it's just for 2 months, we see that with a couple guys every once in a while will sign back with the team. But it doesn't seem like he's the kind of guy who would, it feels like trading him would be giving up on him being with the Red Sox.
Well,
that's my sense of it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure on that.
No,
but
I mean,
it does feel that way.
The theory would be, I mean, look, we just kicked it around twice here. We said if you signed him at the beginning of the year with the hometown discount, whatever he was going to command, I don't know, $17 million, whatever it would have been, say a number, just use a number for example, then it wouldn't be a moot point right now. We wouldn't be moving him; it'd be a done deal. The fact that you can trade him now, out there in the market, get something in return, and have a conversation prior with him, saying, "Look, we really tried in the spring. We want you to come back here. Would you at least consider it? At least you're getting something in return." In the open market, though, my fear would be then he goes out there and kicks ass with some really good team that signs him. Now all of a sudden you just drove his stock up even higher. Was it better to sign him earlier in the year and get the hometown discount, or are you going to spend an extra, per year, $4, $5, $6 million?
Well, yeah, I think you look at this point already. In 3 months, he's driven the market up a fair amount because, in the spring you could have said, okay, Lester had a great finish to last season in August and September, and obviously a phenomenal postseason. But the season and a half before that, he had a 4.8 ERA in 2012, and he had a 4.5 ERA on August 1st of last year. So maybe, you could argue against giving him the enormous deal that a guy like Zach Greinke or Cole Hamels or Felix Hernandez, the kind of really upper echelon deals that those guys were getting. There were arguments against that. But now that you've got another 3 months of him pitching basically the way he did the final 3 months of last season, his ERA is, I think, 2.92, which would be the lowest of his career. His strikeouts are back up to the highest they've been in 4 years. His walks are at a career low. So, everything this is legitimate success. He's pitching really well. The numbers back it up. He's actually pitched better than that ERA in many ways. He's been one of the 5 best pitchers in the American League again, which he hadn't been since 2010, really. That price has just gone up. And whatever you thought would be a team-friendly hometown discount in the spring, and I think, Brian McPherson and I had talked about something in the lines of 5 years for $110 million or something like that. The price for that has probably gone up, both in terms of years, you're probably going to need to go to a 6, and in terms of average annual value, where you're looking at more of what Hamels signed, which was 6 for $148 or something like that.
Hey, Tim, Nick and I asked this here. I want to switch gears and keep it on the pitching, but I want to look at the bullpen here with Koji. He said after the latest blown save that he was tired. He joked around saying, I would like to get younger. Any concern there at all, or does he just need a good night's rest and we'll be back to those 1, 2, 3 innings in the ninth?
It's tough to gauge with him because his kind of default reaction to things like that is to joke around and bring up his age all the time. He gave up the 2 home runs in Oakland, and he said that, I think it was because it was a day game. I didn't get enough sleep last night, something like that. It's always kind of that joking way to respond to when he does give up a run. I don't think there's really much reason for concern. The list of things wrong with this team, Koji Uehara is 25.
Right.
25.
Right.
He's been used a little bit more this year than last year at this point in time, even though he's thrown fewer pitches overall. The ERA is better than it was this time last year, because you forget that it was really, I think the last 3 months of the year he gave up 2 runs, which lowered that ERA to that absurd level. So the ERA has been better this year. Most of the statistics on, July 3rd this year are better than they were on July 3rd last year. So I think they've been pretty careful with the way they've used him. There were times last year where you worried about using him too often in back-to-back days and things of that nature. I think actually having him as the closer on a team that isn't winning very much helps limit his use a little bit in a way, last year when he was the setup man for a stretch of time, it seemed like he was getting in just about every game.
If the Red Sox at some point do decide that they're sellers, is he perhaps the most valuable piece and the first to go?
Lester would be the most valuable if they decided to go there. I don't think they will. Uehara is more of an interesting one because, as I think it was John Tomasi from the Herald pointed out, a lot closers get traded all the time at the trade deadline, but very few of them get traded to be closers for their new team. A lot of times you trade for a closer, the way the Red Sox did with Eric Gagne, and he becomes your setup man. And those work out sometimes, and sometimes they don't. So it's rare to see, one of the 2 or 3 best closers in the game moved at the trade deadline, and that's what Uehara would be. You look around the league, and there's not a lot of, easy landing spots for him. The A's probably don't need another closer with the way Sean Doolittle's pitching. Tigers, I know Joe Nathan has struggled, but you probably don't trade for a closer there either. You don't want to supplant Nathan. So, maybe the Angels need a guy. The logical landing spot for Uehara would be Baltimore, because that's where his family still lives. It's where he pitched when he came over to the States. But I think the fear from a Red Sox perspective is if you trade him to Baltimore, then he's a free agent. He re-signs with Baltimore, and then you've got to face it 19 times a year. So I think kind of the same thing operates with that as it did with Lester, where the Red Sox aren't that far from contention next year. Uehara is a guy they would probably like to bring back next year, and it's easiest to do that if they don't trade him. But it wouldn't surprise me if they at least looked into that market to see what they could get for him for the final 2 months this year if they decide to sell.
One of the things that I keep kind of kicking around is, at some point, if you become a seller, you see some of the players, obviously Betts come up, get his first home run last night. I really feel like a guy like Bogarts and a guy like Jackie Bradley is a year or so away from now. These guys are going to really start showing the reason why there's so much hype about them right now. They just need some time. To me, it's you really only need, if these guys can play on the same par. I mean, you weren't expecting Brock Holt to do what he's doing right now. But collectively, if you moved around, Nick and I just kind of kicked around the field. One or two good batters there with these young guys next year finally getting some sea legs and really starting to play well. This could be a whole different setup if you keep the pitching intact next year. You agree?
Right, yeah. We've talked about kind of with Jackie Bradley. Like, you didn't expect Jackie Bradley to come in and hit 280, really. You thought, if he can come in and hit 250 and get on base and give you good at-bats and play the kind of center field that he's played, you can carry him as your ninth hitter. The problem is he hasn't done, he's hit 200 or 210, has played that center field, but everyone else in the lineup has struggled so much that you can't afford to carry that bat hitting ninth. The offense is kind of drowning because Stephen Drew's hitting whatever he is hitting in the 100s. Bogart is 9 for his last 91, I think the numbers are, which is kind of stunning. Having seen him come up through the system, he's never been through a slump like this. You've obviously had Middlebrook struggle again. Pedroia is not or getting on base or hitting with the same kind of power that he has in the past, except for these last 5 games or so. Even Ortiz's average is down. Napoli struggled with power. Virtually every position, I think it is every position in the lineup, has hit worse this year than it did last year. So that's why those struggles of Bradley and Bogart, guys that you would hope to kind of ease into playing a prominent role in the team, have kind of taken on a larger significance. But, I agree with you that next year, I don't think Bogart's slump changes how I feel about him long-term as a player. I think he's going to be a very good hitter as a shortstop or a third baseman, and I think he can be that pretty soon. Bradley, you wonder a little bit whether he can hold his own at the major league level, but that's not his meal card here. If he plays the kind of center field he's played and he hits, if he gives you good at-bats, gets the on-base percentage up a little bit, then he's got a role. So I think they are more than, this isn't like a rebuilding process where you trade everyone and kind of start at step one again, but it is kind of a take advantage of what you can get rid of if you decide to sell the guys who are going to create this year and see if you can just restock the prospect system a little bit.
Gotcha. He's Tim Britton from the Providence Journal. Tim, awesome stuff, man, and hopefully you don't get stuck in a double header this weekend with the weather and everything. But, we want to talk to you again down the road as we start getting closer to that trade deadline, too. So wish you the best and enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.
You too, guys. Thanks so much.
You got it, man. Take care. Jim Censabella Show. That was Tim Britton joining us from the Providence Journal covering the Red Sox beat. We'll come back, and at 4:30, we will have Jack Edwards from Nesson, covers all your Bruins games. He'll be joining me at 4:30 talking a little hockey. So come back with us, 603-883-9900. Go to espnnhradio.com. It's the Jim Censabella Show, live on a thirsty Thursday here in the studio. We'll be right back.
The Hanover Street Chop House has taken fine dining in the city of Manchester to a whole new level. We know about the food, the hand-cut steaks, the chops, the fresh fish, but now you can eat like a king at lunchtime as well with their new business lunch, which features 3 courses for just $15. Sip some wine at the piano bar or check out the new Raw Bar every Thursday. It's the Hanover Street Chop House, 149 Hanover Street in Manchester. Place your reservation at 603-644-CHOP. That's 644-2467 or visit HanoverStreetChopHouse.com.
Play ball! Gee! What do you mean that was a strike? That was a ball! That was a strike! Ball! Strike! Ball! Ball! Ball? That was a ball!
Well, you're the boss.
Not a good negotiator? At Peters Kia of Nashua, you don't have to be. Because at Peters Kia, you'll always get their best price the first time on all your favorite Kia models. See how much you'll save at Peters Kia of Nashua, home of the complimentary lifetime powertrain warranty.
Performance Bicycle, the nation's largest online cycling retailer, has created the largest sales event in their 31-year history. Now through Memorial Day, everything's on sale at performancebike.com. Over 10,000 items, all on sale with savings up to 70% off. Save on every bike we sell and all the gear you need for every style of riding. Every helmet, jersey, short, shoe, part, accessory, everything is on sale. The Everything's on Sale event at performancebike.com runs through Memorial Day. Don't miss it.
An ESPN Radio Mike and Mike Extra Point.
The biggest reason why everyone got wrapped up in the World Cup is because of the magnitude of the event. Mm-hmm. The question is, does it rub off? I mean, that's the goal here. You bring 100 people to a party, or you bring 100 people into a room, and you show them a product. And 80 of them are going to walk out not buying it. You're hoping 20 of them buy it. Right. So that's the thing with the soccer. Millions and millions and millions of people watch this stuff. Don Garber was on our show this morning, the commissioner of MLS. He said, we know we're not getting all those people to our product. No. But can we get some of them? That's the key.
That's what you're looking for.
That's the key.
That's what you're. And I heard Tony Kornheiser saying that soccer is going to grow incrementally. There's never going to be a monster boom in it. And I think I agree with that because it's been growing incrementally, and I think it'll continue to grow incrementally.
Hear more from Mike and Mike tomorrow morning on ESPN Radio.
Hurry into Lowe's for this week's great deals, including 10 to 30% off major appliances $3.99 and up. Plus, get 18-month special financing when you use your Lowe's consumer credit card. Stop into Lowe's for these and other savings to help you update your home and get ready for a much-deserved long weekend. Lowe's, never stop improving. Offers valid 7/3 through 7/7. Exclusions apply. Purchases with a Lowe's consumer credit card subject to credit approval. See store or Lowe's.com for details.
You've got to make sure your family and finances are legally protected. So where do you turn for legal help you can trust? LegalZoom.com. They've been helping Americans with personalized wills, living trusts, LLCs, trademarks, and more for over 13 years. Call or visit LegalZoom and they'll take care of you from start to finish. It's the modern way to get legal help. To save more, enter exclusive in the referral box at checkout. LegalZoom provides legal help through independent attorneys and self-help, but they're not a law firm. Protect your family and future.
Text the word JOIN to 50352 and join the ESPN New Hampshire Text Club. Scores, standings, trades, and rumors. This is the ESPN New Hampshire Sports Center.
Tonight, the Nashua Silver Knights welcome the Seacoast Mavericks to Holman Stadium. It's Hometown Heroes Night, so make sure you get there and support your local heroes. First pitch at 7:05, and you can listen to the game right here on WSMN 1590. And tomorrow night, the fireworks at Holman have been postponed. They'll be Saturday night at 9 o'clock. The New Hampshire Fisher Cats wrap up a 4-game set against the Reading Fighting Phils. Corey Aldridge looks to stay white-hot at the dish. He's had a home run in his last 2 games. Next Saturday is the NASCAR Sprint Series at Loudon. Brian Vickers, last year's winner, talked about what it takes to repeat.
You obviously always feel good coming back to track. You've won to an extent, but everything changes so much. I mean, because of all the new rule changes this year to the new car and the no ride heights, I mean, none of the setup's the same. So it's not like, no, we can just throw in last year's setup and go fast. I mean, we have to adapt and change and find a new package to win, just like everyone else.
Make sure to tune in all week long next week as you can win tickets to the race up at Loudon. I'm Rich Flair, and the Sports Center was brought to you by Bud Light. Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time.
Back here in hour number 1, wrapping up literally in a minute. We'll come back hour number 2, which will be 2 hours today. Jack Edwards from Nesson. Jack Edwards from Nesson will join us here from the Boston Bruins. Play-by-play guy. Crazy Jack, love him. Will join us here on the show at 4:30. We'll take your calls, though, up until that time at 603-883-9900. Thirsty Thursday, text hotline 50352 for all the kids that are at home drinking Kool-Aid. That was Tim Britton from the Providence Journal that just joined us on the Red Sox beat. Last night, Mr. Betts hit here's a play-by-play we had from Dave O'Brien calling Betts' first home run last night.
And a righty's pitch. Swing high, fly ball left field. This one may go. High, and gone into the monster seats. Mookie Betts with his first major league home run. He crushed it deep into the monster seats and left.
Why do you name your kid Pokey? Is that his nickname? Or
Mookie.
Mookie.
After Mookie Blaylock.
I thought he said
Mookie after Mookie Blaylock, the point guard.
No, it was after Mookie Wilson.
No, it was after Mookie Blaylock.
No, it was Mookie Wilson. Name the team Mookie Wilson was on.
The Mets.
And what happened to Mookie?
What do you mean?
He was there for the '86 World Series for them.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. Mookie Blaylock?
The point guard.
For
Atlanta Hawks.
Oh, yeah.
Underrated.
Solid defender.
Yes.
Well, hey, Betts got his first home run last night. Great call last night by Dave O'Brien here on our station here, ESPN Radio. We'll take another quick break. We'll come back, hour number 2. We'll have some fun. We're going to get into some hockey. Lead it right up to Jack Edwards joining us at 4:30. And we'll have some fun times here on Thursday here on the Jim Censabella Sports Show. ESPN Radio. Go to espnnhradio.com. We'll be right back.
Come to Bellman Jewelers in tax-free Manchester, New Hampshire to discover what the Bellman's Advantage is all about. Bellman's has always featured quality jewelry at a fair price with excellent service. Whether it's me or my husband, we always choose Bellman's because the majority of their finished jewelry and engagement mountings are manufactured in-house, eliminating the middleman, which saves us money. And of course, no sales tax. My husband knows to shop at Bellman's. Do you?
Bellman's Jewelers located at 1650 Elm Street in Manchester, or visit them online at bellmans.com.
This is your NBC Sports Radio update.
Mr. Lala in LA as free agency continues in the NBA. Carmelo Anthony meeting with the Lakers today as we speak, but ESPN adding that Kobe did not make it back from his European vacation, hasn't made it back yet, so he's not there. And then after the meeting, Melo's going to meet with the Knicks again, also in LA. Meanwhile, Kobe's teammate Pau Gasol has a meeting of his own, also in LA, with the Bulls. Baseball, the Yankees, stuck in a 5-game losing streak, have sent down third baseman Yangervis Solarte, who batted just .162 in the month of June after the hot start in April and May. Tomorrow, the 4th of July, and as we get set to celebrate our nation's 238th birthday, the World Cup quarterfinals kick off tomorrow, minus the U.S. First up, France and Germany, followed by Brazil and Colombia. I'm Jeff Biggs, NBC Sports Radio, the NBC Sports Radio mobile app.
Just how versatile is Pro Bond Advanced from Elmer's? Well, you can use it on wood.
Use it on wood.
And it also works great on metal. It works on stone. Even glass. Pro Bond Advanced from Elmer's. It's the non-toxic, non-foaming, weatherproof adhesive that's strong enough for any job, indoors or out. Pro Bond Advanced from Elmer's. Find it at a retailer near you.
It's summer, and no, your thermometer is not kidding. Neither is the Home Depot with red, white, and blue savings on the 52-inch Brookhurst ceiling fan. Just $49.88 with light kit and your choice of finishes. So, let's not sweat this. $49.88 is a small price to pay for happiness, a cooler home, and lower energy bills. Let's do this. The Brookhurst ceiling fan, just $49.88. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. While supplies last, U.S. only.
Sports Stop of New Hampshire is your locally owned and operated one-stop shop for everything lacrosse. Sports Stop of New Hampshire carries all brands of lacrosse equipment for both boys and girls. It's easy to get to, and they are partnered with one of the country's largest .com retailers. So if they don't have it, they can get it. Whether it's beginner packages, team sales, or a huge selection of restraining supplies, Sports Stop of New Hampshire knows your team.
Sports Stop of New Hampshire, 273 South River Road in Bedford. Call 603-606-1921 or email lacrosse at sportsstopnh.com.
Boston sports, national sports, and of course, New Hampshire sports. WGAM Manchester, WGHM Nashua, and streaming everywhere on the ESPN Radio app.
the most combative radio host on the planet.
You're going to be doing a lot of doobie rolling when you're living in a van down by the river.
Such a sexy radio host.
He was no slouch in bed.
You son of a bitch.
Man, I'm so hyped right now. Anything's possible. Anything's possible!
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. This town needs an enema. I'm gonna make him an offer again.
Now, live on ESPN Radio, the Jim Censabella Show.
Are you ready? Because it's my time.
Back here in hour number 2, golf claps all around for the talent. Just walked by the studio. How about that? Yeah, baby. Woo! It's the best thing I've seen walk by the studio in a long time.
In a while, yeah.
Good God. Pink is the color today.
My favorite color.
Have mercy. The hair was, the blonde locks were flying. I thought it was going to knock the glass out of the window. It was pretty funny. Rich is chucking footballs at the window. Thank you, by the way, whoever you were that just walked by. I'm telling you right now, Manchester's going to be so much different.
Jim was pounding on the window.
I pounded the window. I wanted to get... After what I saw in the first hour, there was a guy sitting on the bench, no shirt on, tattoos from head to ass, right?
About 90 years old.
90 years old with a tall, I don't know what the hell it was, a Meisterbrow, a 30-ounce Meisterbrow with a cigarette butt waving to people on the road. There you go. That's what I had to see. The talent that just walked by trumped that.
Oh, yeah.
Have mercy. Anyways, so all right, we're back. Jim Censabella Show here live in studio. Obviously, we're in Nashua. We just told you that. ESPN Radio. Go to espnnhradio.com. Click on there and check us out on the web on our Fishizzle website, which really rocks. Joining me coming up at 4:30, Jack Edwards from Nesson will join us, who calls for the Boston. 2 seconds late on that one. He'll be joining us here at 4:30, and he will be talking to us about what's going on with the Bruins, all the trade and everything. It happens once in a while. The hell with it. Whatever. 603-8831. See, even the fire trucks are going after them down the street now.
Yeah, they are.
603-883-9900 is the number. Thirsty Thursday. You can text us on the hotline. 50352. I want to thank Tim Britton again from the Providence Journal for joining us. And you know, what are you going to do? Joining us at 3:30 today.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Talking about the Red Sox and if they're buyers or sellers right now. Bruins sign a goaltender, Jeremy Smith, to a 1-year contract, obviously to be their backup, or is he going to compete against their backup?
No.
25-year-old spent the 2013-14 season in the Columbus AHL affiliate, Springfield Falcons, where he earned a 21-14-3 record with a 2.78 goals against average. He's basically been in Nashville's system for several years now, and they just signed him to a 1-year deal. So doesn't really matter. I mean,
bringing another body at the position.
Yeah, another body going in there. We'll break it down with Jack too. I want to talk about some of the movements. I mean, listen, we all knew that Sean Thornton was gone. The Bruins already told him they didn't want him back. He's gone. Chad Johnson, the goalie, was gone. Got signed by the New York Islanders. Jerome Gilna, you can't blame Jerome for what he did. I mean, he couldn't sign anything more than a year contract with the Bruins.
He got paid.
He got paid 3 years to go to Colorado. What do you expect? I mean, there's nothing you could do there, so good luck to him. And, Chad Finn from the Boston.com was writing as if, Jesus walked out the door. I mean, he was not that much. He did pretty well, but when the playoffs came, he seemed to always choke, okay?
Do anything.
Older player. And you know what? Just move on. Chad Finn sounded like it was Cam Neely getting traded back in the 90s, for God's sakes, or leaving the team. So a little overzealous on my part.
I think the Avs overpaid.
I think they did too. But what do the Avs need for? Maybe some of that leadership. They got a lot of young players on their team right now, so maybe some leadership things going on there. But hell, you never know. We got some breaking news coming out of World Cup soccer right now. An overpass collapses in Brazil World Cup host city of Belo Horizonte. I can't pronounce these names. Horizonte, leaving one dead, which is right around the corner from where the stadiums are. So a little sad there going on. What is this? Broken on here, the golf course. Who cares? Sacramento Kings agree to sign a 3-year term. Darren Collison, 15-year contract for 3 years. Is he any good?
$15 million for 3 years.
What did I say? 15 years? $15 million for 3 years.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good point guard. Underrated guy coming out of UCLA. Played well in Indiana, then went to Dallas, and then spent last year as the backup for Chris Paul in LA for the Clippers. Solid player.
Yeah, I thought he'd get a contract in that neighborhood from somebody.
Well, he got it. Pretty good one, too, I think, for 3 years. Kyle Lowry agrees to a new contract with the Toronto Raptors.
Yep.
Did you guys know that?
Yep. Another good signing, I think.
A lot
Good
of
signing.
speculation he was headed to Miami, so that takes that off the books.
Yep. Oh, they got $55 million to spend, so why the hell not, right? Wouldn't make sense, but who knows? Checking around MLB right now. Right now, the Cardinals are up 2-0 early against the Giants out in San Francisco. Other than
Peralta,
that,
two-run homer.
Right, yeah, big two-run homer, too.
Yep.
It was a blast. Rest of the game's going on tonight. Yankees Twins tonight. Start one out in Minnesota. This is Peralta time. Regulators.
I don't get the reference.
I don't either.
No, I was just trying to play a bed.
You're playing some music for the background.
I was
There
just
you
playing
go.
a bed.
I like
Trying
the bed.
Just a few seconds late. It's not a big deal. What else is going on this weekend in sports? Anything? Who cares about World Cup soccer? Our team's out.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, baseball, I guess, if you really want to get excited about it. Red Sox will be home against the Orioles. You know, listen, if there's a point they can make some ground up, now's the time. You got Baltimore there, right? 1.5 out. Why not?
Baltimore's playing well, though.
Yeah.
They won 3 in a row.
There's your measurement. Lester's pitching tonight. Gonzalez is 4-5 at Baltimore. Not the greatest stat in the world, but you got to start somewhere, boys and girls. You got to start somewhere. Right
One
now,
game
this
at a
team
time.
is 8.5 games out right now.
By the way, what's going on with your team?
Yankees, you know what?
5 in a
Just
row
as
they've
bad.
lost. 2 and 8 in the last 10.
Just as bad. Just as bad. Like, you don't know who the hell's going to show up. Teixeira gets his knee drained again. He's out for
Yeah, I
another
saw
couple of
that.
days. Look, he's
No,
done.
he might be back tonight.
Yeah, but
That's what they said.
he's still not the. I mean, he's got 14
I
home
hate
runs.
the Yankees.
He's got 14 home runs or whatever. Yeah, but he's just not a consistent guy you were expecting years ago.
He's starting to break.
You know, Jeter's going to have the year he's going to have. Go around the diamond right now. They got McCann. They picked up from Atlanta. Your outfield, all right, you get Ellsbury out there, and then it's the platoon thing with Ichiro and everybody else going out there. Sabathia's done. I mean, he's done. As far as I'm concerned, he's done.
You got Tanaka right now.
Tanaka's your stud.
Tonight.
Yeah, you got Tanaka's your stud, and then kind of goes downhill. They're kind of in the same position the Sox are, really, if you think about it. You know? You got A-Rod, thank God you have to pay him this year. He's out. God knows what the hell he's doing, but he's going to come back next year. Whether he plays with the Yankees, I don't think so.
See, I think Boston's in a better spot than the Yankees.
Why?
Because they got a
Because they're
better farm
crappier?
system.
Well, who says who?
Says the facts.
Oh, gee, here we go. Before we start going down this path that the facts are, go look at the records of the teams down there.
Well,
Well, look at the.
Just ask the question. Look at the
I know,
record of the teams.
and I'm just saying.
Go by facts.
You
Go
don't
by
even
stats.
need to go down to the farm. Just look at the major league team. Look at all the rookies we just talked
but
about.
the Yankees haven't really always been a traditional farm team because they just pay high price
No,
for
all
their
their
guys.
guys were homegrown. Jeter,
Well,
Mariano,
back
Rivera,
in the 90s when
Jorge
they sucked.
Posada.
Yeah, 92, 93, 94, the Yankees sucked.
And that's how you won a lot of your championships in the 90s was those homegrown guys.
I understand that, but
So that's
but traditionally since 96 on, the Yankees really don't have that great of a farm system because they
Right.
go out and spend the big money to get the players.
Right.
The Sox, up till recently, still have the third highest payroll in baseball, but because of some of the deals they did with the Dodgers and absorbing, getting some picks there, I guess they have it better. I mean, some of the better farm systems are the teams like Kansas City, the Pittsburghs, and the Tampa Bays, and the Oaklands, because that's all they've been able to do, right? They get a guy that plays a couple of years for them, has an outstanding couple of years, and he goes signs a big contract, or he goes and gets traded to one of these teams because they know they can't sign him.
But a lot of it comes down to the front office, and it's all as simple as drafting and scouting. You see a handful of teams that do that well every single year, regardless of payroll.
Okay.
And I would put Boston probably in that group, along with probably Cincinnati, St. Louis, and Atlanta.
Oakland.
And Oakland. Yeah, and Tampa. Okay, there's 6. When was the last time the Yankees had a stud prospect? You know?
Well, according to every baseball book and magazine, how much, I don't know when you take credit into those stock you put into that, but Red Sox are top 3 in all those listings.
But
of
what he
farm
just
systems.
what he just asked was, when was the last time Yankees had a good, solid prospect? And I'm thinking that the last
Phil Hughes?
Yeah, but he didn't pan out.
He's doing great in Minnesota.
Oh, great, because he
Well,
can't.
I'm just
Because he's
throwing it
another
out there.
player
He's
that
a failure.
He's a failure in the Yankee system because he did well going up. But
Well, we're talking one with high expectations.
they moved him back. They moved him up too early when they needed him to pitch because they had injuries in their pitching going back 6-7 years ago. And some guys some guys just can't play on the big stage. We talked about this weeks ago about different players that have come to Boston. Who was the shortstop there? That was in Atlanta. What the hell was his name? Renneria came here and he was just, and they said it. The reason why is he couldn't handle the pressure at all.
Carl Crawford.
Carl Crawford's another one. Yeah, good point. I mean,
your case yesterday was A.J. Burnett.
A.J. Burnett. Yep. He came there big hopes from coming to Toronto, which is not a big market team, and pitched half decent, and he was just went to Pittsburgh and did well.
In New York.
Well, no, but I mean the first year he wasn't bad.
Yeah.
First year had a solid year.
But overall, he got run out of town.
He got run out of town.
Robinson Cano is homegrown.
I guess Robinson Cano. There you go. I was trying to think of a player. Robbie Cano. Miguel Cabrera. There's another one that comes to mind who's, besides doing steroids the last couple of years, has been one of the better players now this year, right?
Miguel?
But yeah, Cano and Cabrera
he's never been convicted of anything.
No, Cabrera. Miguel Cabrera was convicted last year.
Detroit?
He was suspended.
The Detroit
Not Miguel
Tigers?
Cabrera. Sorry, who's the other one?
Miguel Cabrera was in the Florida.
Melky.
Melky Cabrera.
That's who you think.
My apologies.
Yes.
You know how I am with names. I forget. Melky Cabrera, who came up through there from.
Who, by the way, is having a great year.
Fantastic.
Yeah, he's back on the juice.
He's back on the juice.
Yeah.
I know. It's so funny how, you go, or hang on a minute, or is it a guy that just takes a little longer to peak? I mean, look, the Red Sox have done far better than the Yankees have, I guess in the farm system, because the Yankees have been able to go out and spend big money on players. And Cashman,
they haven't needed it.
Cashman's done a great job. He's one of the best guys. GM, it'll go down as one of the best guys and best GMs in the game. At the end of the day, he will. He won 4 World Series in a row, and he wins another one.
Great, but he's given a blank check every year.
Hold on a minute. Don't start that crap. The Boston Red Sox.
That's a fact, though.
That's bull.
What
The
do
Red
you mean
Sox
that's
have
bull?
done the same crap the last 10 years.
I'm not saying they haven't, but I'm also saying I'm not going to sit here and praise Brian Cashman when he has a built-in advantage against some of the smaller market
peers. Well, no, I know that, but I'm saying that's
what I mean.
Red Sox, Yankees.
I'm not comparing Red Sox and Yankees.
What are you comparing?
Because I agree with you. Those two are now in the same tier.
You mean
in
all
terms of
across
top
the
spenders.
board?
I'm talking all 30 teams.
Oh, yeah. Billy Beane, to me, is hands down one of the best.
Right. So how can we go over here and praise Brian Cashman when he's got a built-in advantage?
You're saying anybody could have done it? Yeah.
Didn't you say that Eric Spoelstra wasn't a good coach because of the talent he had down there?
Absolutely.
Wouldn't the same apply to
Absolutely.
Brian Cashman?
No.
Why not?
Because you're a coach. You're not picking the players on your team. It's a different story. You have no Pat Riley is Pat Riley. Not one guy came from Eric Spoelstra. I'm saying that Brian Cashman is the guy that literally handpicked that team. And don't forget, he pulled in guys during trades that were pretty good picks. The Brocious comes to mind, things like that. Guys at the trade deadline just to get him over the edge. The Doc Good in the year they won little things like that. It's not easy. Look, you want to tell me you think Theo Epstein's one of the best to do something with a team like that in years? No. He's failed miserably in Chicago. He's got an excellent base of money that comes in there from that stadium alone. He's in one of the top cities in the country. And now they make him the president of baseball. He hasn't done jack since he left the Red Sox. Nothing.
I'll say this about Theo. He's terrible at picking big money free agents, but he's excellent at getting the farm system and the scouting and all the things
Like
Nick
pick
alluded
George
to.
Schilling?
After that, he was abysmal with a lot of his signings towards the end. He was just signing guys to sign guys to, and he even said it, to appease the upper management and the marketing appeal. But a lot of our farm system is a credit to Theo, and he's stockpiling the Chicago farm system right now, so we won't really know how good of a job he's done for a couple of years.
Well, Chicago's got a good 2 or 3 more years before you see any of those guys.
Yeah.
603-883-9900.
Just another note on Cashman. He didn't actually become the general manager until 98.
Yeah,
which was
Watson.
after
Was it
Brocious.
Bob Watson?
It was Bob Watson.
Bob
yes.
Watson was like his assistant.
And Brocious
GM.
was already on board at that point.
Yeah, you're right. He was playing. Well, Brocious
was on the 96 team, right?
No, Boggs would have been there.
Boggs was at third.
One
Brocious
was
at
Charlie
second.
Hayes.
No, Brocious wasn't at second. Brocious was a third baseman.
You sure about that?
Absolutely. Second base was the guy that ended up. Who the hell was
Chuck
he?
Knobloch.
He came from Minnesota.
Yeah, that's what we're
threw
talking
the ball
about.
in the-
No, we're talking about Scott Brocious.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, you're
Scott
right.
Brocious was the
I had
third
them
baseman.
confused. Knobloch was at second.
Yeah, I
Brocious was at
remember
third.
George Steinbrenner coming out saying that the best signing in '96 was Wade Boggs when he didn't re-sign with the Red Sox, and so he signed with the Yankees for a big money agent contract. But he pissed the Red Sox off Boggs on the way out. That was his problem. Boggs was about Boggs. I remember how many times he would go up to the official score and make him change what they called an error to a hit. He would do that so
David
many times.
Ortiz.
Yeah, I know that. David does it but Boggs would do it all the time.
Brocious' first year with the Yankees, 98.
Yeah, 98. Yeah, so
that
that was by
Cashman
Cashman.
does get credit for that.
Yeah.
300, 19 homers, 98 RBIs, MVP of the World Series.
Yeah. I just say what you want. I mean, just because a team's got a lot of money to put out there at payroll, the expectation, the pressure's on him that much more as a general manager. I mean, it's a lot of heat on him at that point.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we're giving you a $200 million, whatever it is every year,
And you're in the New York spotlight. I understand that.
I have more admiration for a guy like Billy Beane, who had the opportunity before Theo to be the Red Sox guy and turned it down because of family reasons. And look what he's still done out there. Over year after year, they're in the playoffs. When was the last time an Oakland team finished last?
We just got a tornado warning for Rockingham County.
Outstanding. Did we really?
Just fresh across the board. according to
Really?
the National Weather Service. Tornado warning for Rockingham County beginning at 4:15, which was 2 minutes ago, ending at 4:45.
Let's go check it out right now, baby. Absolutely, you're right. I'm going WMUR right now is reporting that there is a put your head between your legs kind of tornado warning in Rockingham County heading towards the seacoast. So please be careful. Good Lord. Tornado. Thank God my kid's up in Maine. She hates that stuff, man. Rockingham County, there you go. Nick, the weather guy in Astus, coming through.
That's right.
Wow.
For all your latest weather and breaking news.
Wow. July 3rd. And they also, on top of the tornado warning, severe golf ball size hail and 60-plus mile-an-hour winds heading from Newfield or near Exeter all the way through Rockingham County, Newmarket, Stratham, Durham, Madbury, Great Bay National Wildlife, wherever the hell that is, Greenland, Newington, all over. Take cover, ladies and gentlemen. Take cover. Also in Hillsborough County, there's been an update, too. Strong thunderstorms, north, central, Middlesex, southeast Hillsborough counties, including Manchester, Lowell, Nashua, Methuen, Dracut, Methuen, Merrimack, Methuen, Tingsboro, Amherst, Groton, Methuen. Take cover. Take cover. Strong thunderstorms, 40-mile-an-hour winds, hail, cats, dogs, everything going on. So please, there's a lot of watches popping. All of a sudden now, everything's popping up in the MUR site. Go to WRMUR to check it all out too. But look, if you didn't expect it, look outside Nashua right now. It's pretty bleak and dark right now. So take quick cover. But anyway,
starting to rain, looks like.
I'm hoping they get this Silver Knights game in. It's going to be a wonderful night down there at Holman for you guys.
It's not happening tonight.
Hometown Heroes night.
Yeah, not happening. I'm looking at the
Dollar
radar right
barley
now.
You don't think so?
Check the radar out. Rain, baby. Rain.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a storm coming, Nick. Yeah,
It's
radar.
not Batman.
It's not Batman.
Hurricane Flare.
Hurricane Flare is coming. By the way, your mother called earlier. I saw her on the phone. I look down, I see D. Flare, and I'm like, oh, Richard's mother's calling. I didn't have a chance to pick it up. Yeah, it's going to rain, brother. As they say, it's going to rain. It's going to rain. And you might not be, no Thirsty Thursday tonight at all at the.
That's not official.
Oh, wait a minute. I know.
Let's not scare away
I'm
the
watching
folks.
it right now. 8 o'clock, it's rain. Actually, you know what? Hold on a second, baby. Hang on a minute.
First pitch is 6:45, by the way, at home.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Now, there's rain right over Nashua at 7 o'clock, but it's going to go away by 8. You'll be okay. It's going to rain from 5 o'clock. Hold it. Wait for it. 4 o'clock. From 4 o'clock on, it's going to rain until 7 o'clock, 7:30. So you might have to pull the tarp off at that point.
It's a good thing there is no tarp over there because they reseeded the infield grass.
There's no tarp?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
No tarp last night, no tarp tonight.
You're fired. Exactly. 603-883-9900. We'll take a quick break. Jack Edwards will join us here at 4:30 from Nesson, who covers the Boston Bruins. Always a treat with Jack here. So come back and join us on ESPN New Hampshire Radio. Go to espnnh.com. It's the Jim Censabella Show. Live here in a cloudy, dark, and fire truck running Nashua, New Hampshire. We'll be right back.
Hey folks, Tom Rowe here for the good people at Infinity of Nashua. Right now at Infinity of Nashua, they're home to one of the most unique automobiles on the planet. The 2014 Q50 all-wheel drive hybrid gets an astounding 30 miles per gallon with a powerful 360 horsepower engine that gives you the performance you demand from a luxury vehicle. The 2014 Q50 all-wheel drive hybrid is priced, get this, below $50,000. Other comparable luxury vehicles can cost you twice as much. All Infinity vehicles are backed by a 4-year, 60,000-mile warranty and a powertrain warranty for 6 years at 70,000 miles. At Infinity of Nashua, they know your time is valuable, and when it comes time to service your vehicle, Infinity of Nashua has a fleet of loaner cars for you to use, so you're not waiting around for your car to be serviced. And the service department hand washes and vacuums your vehicle after every visit. Infinity of Nashua is located on 105 DW Highway in Nashua and can also be found online at infinityofnashua.com. Once more, Infinity of Nashua is located on 105 DW Highway in Nashua and can also be found online at infinityofnashua.com.
Is a sports injury keeping you out of your favorite class or your student athlete on the sideline? If so, come to New Hampshire Orthopedic Center, where we keep bodies in motion. Our sports medicine team's board-certified fellowship-trained physicians can tackle any injury keeping you away from the activities you love. Trust the team the Manchester Monarchs trust. Doctors Bouvier, Gumas, Killy, Marino, Sohikian, and Velas have the expertise and experience you can depend on. Our physicians know how motivated you are to get back in action. They chose sports medicine because they love getting athletes back into their favorite activities. With 6 area locations, you don't have to leave your community to get the best care. NHOC is conveniently located throughout southern New Hampshire, with offices in Nashua, Manchester, Londonderry, Amherst, and Salem. New Hampshire Orthopedic Center. We keep bodies in motion. To learn more, visit NHOC.com. Again, that's NHOC.com.
An ESPN Radio Mike and Mike Extra Point.
The biggest reason why everyone got wrapped up in the World Cup is because of the magnitude of the event. Mm-hmm. The question is, does it rub off? I mean, that's the goal here. You bring 100 people to a party, and you bring 100 people into a room, and you show them a product, and 80 of them are going to walk out not buying it. You're hoping 20 of them buy it. Right. So that's the thing with the soccer. Millions and millions and millions of people watch this stuff. Don Garber was on our show this morning, the commissioner of MLS. He said, we know we're not getting all those people to our product, but can we get some of them? That's the key.
That's what you're looking for.
That's the key.
That's what you're. And I heard Tony Kornheiser saying that soccer is going to grow incrementally. There's never going to be a monster boom in it. And I think I agree with that because it's been growing incrementally, and I think it'll continue to grow incrementally.
Hear more from Mike and Mike tomorrow morning on ESPN Radio.
Hurry into Lowe's for this week's great deals, including 10 to 30% off major appliances $3.99 and up. Plus, get 18-month special financing when you use your Lowe's consumer credit card. Stop into Lowe's for these and other savings to help you update your home and get ready for a much-deserved long weekend. Lowe's, never stop improving. Offers valid 7/3 through 7/7. Exclusions apply. Purchases with a Lowe's consumer credit card subject to credit approval. See store or Lowe's.com for details.
You've got to make sure your family and finances are legally protected. So where do you turn for legal help you can trust? LegalZoom.com. They've been helping Americans with personalized wills, living trusts, LLCs, trademarks, and more for over 13 years. Call or visit LegalZoom and they'll take care of you from start to finish. It's the modern way to get legal help. To save more, enter exclusive in the referral box at checkout. LegalZoom provides legal help through independent attorneys and self-help, but they're not a law firm. Protect your family and future.
Radio and television have been part of your daily life for as long as you can remember, so why not make a career out of it? Visit nhab.org, the online home of the New Hampshire Association of Broadcasters, to learn more about over-the-air broadcasting. Interested in pursuing a career in radio or television? Whether it be on the air or behind the scenes, many Granite State stations are looking for motivated people just like you. Visit our online job bank at nhab.org to view current job openings and even post your resume for potential employers. You can also access a list of upcoming job fairs in New Hampshire as well as NHAB-sponsored events. Students, if you're studying over-the-air broadcasting, apply for the NHAB Student Broadcaster Scholarship and learn about available internships at local stations. It's easy to navigate, full of useful resources, and it's only a click away. NHAB.org, the online source of Granite State broadcasting.
Text the word JOIN to 50352 and join the ESPN New Hampshire Text Club. Scores, standings, trades, and rumors. This is the ESPN New Hampshire Sports Center.
Next weekend is the NASCAR Sprint Series at Loudon. You can hear it all right here next week as we give tickets away to the big race. Brian Vickers, who won last year's race, says he's going to have to make some necessary adjustments if he wants to repeat. Make sure you tune in to ESPN New Hampshire all week long next week as we're giving tickets away to the big race at Loudon next Saturday. The New Hampshire Fisher Cats look to take 3 out of 4 against the Reading Fighting Phils. First pitch at 7:05. Corey Aldridge tries to make it 3 games straight with a home run. And tonight, weather permitting, the Nashua Silver Knights will take on the Seacoast Mavericks. It's hometown heroes night at Holman Stadium. Make sure you get there and celebrate your local hometown heroes. First pitch at 6:45. You can listen to it on our sister station, WSMN 1590. The Boston Red Sox are off tonight. They'll welcome the Baltimore Orioles tomorrow for a 3-game set. I'm Rich Flair, and this Sports Center is brought to you by Waldman Plastic Surgery and Dermatology. Just mention ESPN New Hampshire for a free cool sculpting consultation and visit them at Waldman Plastic Surgery and Dermatology.com.
Back here, hour number 2 here. Joining me in a few minutes will be Jack Edwards from the Boston Bruins Nesson Radio TV broadcast. I'll tell you what, Thunderbolt just hit here about 30 seconds ago, and this was a shake, rattle, and roller, huh? That was pretty loud.
No joke.
So you got a little opening over there. You're pulling up net worth of former. Wow, that was right there behind the building. Lightning, beautiful. 603-883-9900 is the number. Thirsty Thursday hotline. Text us at 50352.
It can get shady for Rich being near that board.
Really?
Because if you're on it and let's say it hits the street or somewhere down, ask Rich when he gets back in there. He got a pretty good jolt.
Really?
Last summer.
Wouldn't shock me. That's probably why he is the way he is now. I mean, the kid goes outside and gets the door shut and stands out on a roof with metal all around him, trying to fix a window.
Now he's just a walking magnet.
Yeah, probably help him out. A little jolt here and there for everybody doesn't hurt.
Right. Keep you on your toes.
Absolutely. If you're from Bethune, a little jolt once in a while doesn't hurt you. I love it. So tell me, you got this website right now.
Yep. And we've just been...
Net worth of players.
Yep.
And Wayne Gretzky is worth how much?
$200 million.
$200 million. Jerry Remy's worth $15 million.
Yep.
Wow.
Your latest was Darryl Strawberry?
Darryl Strawberry.
You want to take a poke at that?
Yeah. 4.
2.
Yeah, I figured that.
$2 million.
Didn't spend his money right.
Age 52.
Wow.
Still $2 million.
Oh, yeah. $2 million is $2 million. Net worth?
Right.
Depends how many baby daddies you got out there. How about Evander Holyfield?
Ooh.
Because, he's got like 9, 10, 11 different kids with 9 different women, and I don't know how he took care of them all.
Yeah, he wasn't doing very well a few years ago.
No, he had a mansion down in Atlanta.
Right, that he couldn't handle.
It was bigger than Michael Jackson's Neverland Park. What is it? It had 15 bathrooms in his house, put it that way.
Hang on.
What do you do with 15 bathrooms? You just go to the bathroom in a different one every day?
I guess. You want to take a guess?
Yeah, Evander Holyfield?
Yeah.
Even after all his problems, $13 million.
$500,000.
No kidding.
He's in trouble.
He's worth $500,000. Evander Holyfield.
Yeah, that's awful.
All right, I got one more for you. Latrell Sprewell.
Ooh, he's got to feed the family.
Who the man that said I couldn't get a contract for $14 million because I got to feed my 9 kids and 8 wives.
You want to take a poke?
Yeah, 4.
5. Pretty close. Pretty good.
I'm telling you, something hit back there, man. Here goes all the fire trucks now. Yeah. So if all of a sudden we go, just know that I want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July, whatever the hell you're doing. Jack Edwards will be joining us. I mean, the fire trucks are going by now. Everything. This is good. What else we got? I said, who was the? I said Nancy Kerrigan. That shocked me. How much was she worth?
$8 million.
$8 million for why? Remember her? Why? How about Tanya Harding?
Ooh,
what's she worth?
I don't know.
Tanya Harding can't be worth much either. She was mud wrestling in WWE a few years ago. My guess, she's probably worth maybe $300,000 if she's lucky.
Not much. This is saying $30,000.
$30,000 for wow! Did you see that one?
I saw something.
It's shaking
there,
out there. Yeah. Wait,
Yeah,
wait for it.
It's getting ugly now.
Wait for it. Wait for it. It's not happening.
We might have missed it.
Might have been a blinker. Yeah, look at that, huh? $30,000 for Tanya Harding.
I don't know if that's right. Well, think about it.
Of course it is.
She never.
No, of course it is.
She never really capitalized on that
Lou.
15 minutes.
She's a Lou. She's a Lou.
She
603.
was in one, I guess, movie called Breakaway in '96.
All right.
That's her claim to fame, I guess.
How about Bob Uecker? 603-883-9900. Again, Jack Edwards will be joining us here in a few minutes in the what is now a dark city of Nashua. It is black out there.
I can't find his network.
Those of you in the Rockingham County area, there is a tornado warning in effect till what time?
5:30?
5:30, tornado in effect, warning in effect in Rockingham County. Those of you anywhere in the Hillsborough County, northern Massachusetts, looking at golf ball size hail, winds up to 40 to 60 miles an hour. We went over the towns. We had Manchester, we had Nashua, we had Merrimack, Hudson, Salem, Methuen, Lawrence, Methuen, Lowell, Tingsboro, Methuen.
Yep.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Now,
tuck and roll.
Let's tie it in here before we welcome in the voice of the Bruins. I would say most people would be surprised to learn. Would you say this is fair that Bobby Orr's net worth is nearly double what Ray Bork's was?
Doesn't surprise me.
Orr at $35 million and Bork around $20 million. That surprises me a little bit.
Well, what could it have been had he taken the original deal Alan Eagleson was glad to screw him on and own 10% of the Bruins probably back, I guess it would be 1977, 76, and he'd probably be worth, 8 times that right now. But let's bring in the man that would know that, our own Boston Bruins, Nesson, TV guru, Dalai Lama of TV in New England, Jack Edwards. Jack, welcome to the Jim Censabella Sports Show. How are you today?
The Dalai Lama. That's great.
I had to throw that.
So I'll just remind you to do one of the offbeat things that he has suggested. Take chances with food. It's the 4th of July. Why just bother with the hamburgers and hot dogs? Do something creative, right?
Absolutely.
Fried ice cream or something.
Fried ice cream on the grill. That would work. I don't know.
Sure.
How's the weather where you're at? Because right now we're in downtown Nashua, and if I told you right now there's more lightning bolts hitting around us than you could shake a stick at, the weather's crazy over the next couple of days here.
Yeah, well, I got a feeling that once this thing blows through, it's going to be awesome.
I hope so.
But I'm in western New England right now, and it's building up. We're going to get a pretty good line of thunderstorms, I'm sure.
Well, speaking of thunder and rain, I love it. But right now, the Boston Bruins right now, to me, are a little bit here and there. But I see Sean Thornton going. Obviously, we knew that was going to happen. You knew Chad Johnson was going to be around. Okay, Jerome, you couldn't do much with a 1-year contract. But I got to be honest with you, looking at the roster, we got a very good nucleus here, a very good, strong nucleus. You got guys that were hurt in McQuaid last year coming back, Seidenberg coming back, Chris Kelly coming back. I mean, right now on paper, what do you think the biggest hole the Bruins need right now?
Well, obviously, they've got a significant need for a dangerous right wing, and it depends if you consider the Bergeron line or the Krejci line to be the top line, but that leaves you without a top 6 right wing, and that's got to be an impact player. It can't be a nice young player that you hope will mature, because if Matt Fraser turns out not to be the kind of guy who can pop in 25 goals and have an outstanding plus-minus because he's a great free-zone player, you got a major hole in your roster. You become a team that can be shut down if you have one good defensive pair and you can knock them up against the Bergeron line, which usually has to shut down the other team's top line anyway. The loss of Iginla is significant. But the problem was that the Bruins had to give him an incentive-loaded contract to fit him in last year. They have a $4 million tag penalty because he hit every single incentive he could hit. So that means that had they signed him to the same $5.3 million a year that Colorado had signed him to, that they're basically paying him $9 million this year to play right wing for David Krejci's line. That's just not going to cut it. He's just not worth that. As great a guy as he is, it completely blows up the team. And so they've got to find a way. And the way they're going to have to find a way is probably through a significant acquisition, which means they're going to have to give up significant assets.
Right.
And fortunately for them, they have institutional depth, the likes of which they haven't had since Ray Bork was probably in his prime when they were making Stanley Cup Finals runs against the Edmonton Oilers in '88 and '90. The Bruins really haven't been this deep in that much time. So Peter Chiarelli is going to be able to deal from a position of strength, but he needs to deal. They need to make some moves. They need to get more dangerous. They need to get a little bit faster, and it's not all going to come from Providence.
No, not at all. Once again, talking with Jack Edwards from the Nesson here, Boston Bruins TV. I'll say it again, Dalai Lama of TV. I love listening to you, man. And I love chatting with you at the games, too, which has been great. Here's my thought. Our defense, to me, one of the things we noticed in the playoffs, and we all talked about it, we talked about it at the games, Chara really had a tough time in that final round, and especially against Montreal. He just had a tough time. At times, he looked just out of sync, out of mind. Supposedly, there's no real big injuries that that it kept him from it, a lot of pride more on Z's part of it. But, I mean, is it time to start cutting back, especially when you have guys like Seidenberg? Kevin Miller, to me, played fantastic this year. You got Torrey Krug, who continues to just be at both ends of the ice, offensive threat and defensively. Adam McQuaid, Boychuk. You got all these guys. Dougie Hamilton had a phenomenal second half in playoffs. Isn't it time to cut back on his minutes a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah, I know, right? Easy answer, yes.
Yeah, it is. And it's nice to be able to say this about a player who just got nominated for the Norris Trophy, but Chara is a player who has begun his decline. He's never going to be an average NHL defenseman. He could play into his mid-40s and be a way above average NHL defenseman, but he's not the monster, scary stud that he was in 09, 10, and 11. And that's not to say that he's a bad defenseman. He's still a great defenseman. The Bruins need to begin to make the transition to the point that Chara is less of an everything defenseman and more of a I'm going to erase your top line defenseman, which is what he does best. The reason that the guy is going to go down as one of the great defensemen of his era is because he is the preeminent shutdown defenseman during his career. There has been no one who has covered more ice, stopped more rushes, and defeated more superstar efforts from the other side than Zdeno Chara. And that's how the Bruins are going to use him more. They're going to take some of his load off. It comes at a time when Dougie Hamilton is on the rise, when Adam McQuaid is coming off an injury-plagued season. And we were just chatting with him in the hallway a couple of months ago at the conclusion of the season and saying, well, it's good you got them all over with at once. And he was laughing about it, but that's certainly the attitude that he hopes to take. You've got a lot of chips on the table if you want to wheel one of these young defensemen. There are a lot of really good young defensemen on the Boston Bruins and some older ones like Johnny Boychuk who might come into play if somebody offers something substantial, especially in combination with another player or another prospect that the Bruins have. The Bruins also, they've got a couple of guys in Spooner and Kovalchuk who are outstanding young players and have great potential, just haven't been able to prove themselves in the National Hockey League.
Jack, Nick and Astis here in studio. Thanks again for coming on. I wanted to ask you about the signing from yesterday. The Bruins adding another goaltender, Jeremy Smith, to a 1-year, 2-way contract. He played for Springfield in the AHL. Monarchs fans may recognize the name. Pretty good numbers overall in the American Hockey League and a former second-round pick of Nashville. Where does he fit in behind Tuukka?
Way behind. he's the fourth goalie in the organization as we see it. Svedberg's going to be the backup. When you sign a guy who's played virtually his entire AHL career with a one-way contract for upwards of $500,000, I think he got $600 if memory serves. That means he's going to be the backup to Tuukka Rask. So Svedberg goes into camp as the backup, and unless he absolutely stinks, which he will not, he's going to make the team out of camp. They already said goodbye to Chad Johnson, who did a terrific job as a backup. He got a job with the Islanders, and he'll have a chance to fight for the number one slot there. Malcolm Subban is going to play every single night he's capable of playing in Providence because they think they got a blue chip goalie in him. And that either becomes incredible insurance for Rask, who's coming off a Vezina Trophy season and is locked into a long-term deal, or an unbelievable chip to be able to trade.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not going to be this year to a team that thinks they can put Malcolm Subban in goal and run the table to the Stanley Cup, but maybe 2-3 years from now, Malcolm Subban becomes a part of a blockbuster deal, or else just tries to win the job from Tuukka Rask. It doesn't break my heart to think that Malcolm Subban will have to spend most of the time opening the door and honing his skills behind Tuukka Rask, and that's your emergency backup 3 years from now.
Sure.
I mean, that's a pretty good future for the Boston Bruins.
Well, it's a hell of a backup, especially with injuries that can happen at any point, and having somebody like that behind you. I mean, we were pretty fortunate this year with Johnson. He played phenomenal, and he's probably one of the better goalies in the NHL this year, when he played. So, what I want to kind of slide to, and once again, we're chatting with Jack Edwards from Nesson here, calling Boston Bruins games. I want to kind of chat about I say this. I said this at the end of the year. I wrote about it at the end of the year. At what point does the Jordan Caron experience start to go away, and does he move on? And because it just doesn't seem like he's just, it's like the land of misfit toys. He just can't fit in somehow.
Well, have they made him an offer yet?
That's the biggest question I have. Will they make him an offer?
I don't think so. Maybe he'll get an offer to come to camp.
Yeah.
But you get the feeling that he's going to get a better option somewhere else.
Yeah.
The Bruins have had a majority of their first-round picks just snuff out before the candles even started to burn, and it's a pity. But they made some big mistakes on first-round picks. They've done pretty well in the second and third rounds. You look at the guys who are on the current roster from second and third round picks. It's outstanding, but their first round's been, on the whole, a disappointment, other than the slam dunk. Hamilton falling to number 9. Who's not going to take Dougie Hamilton at number 9 when a lot of people had him rated in the top 5 of that draft?
Right.
Tyler Seguin was the other guy. If Seguin had gone to Edmonton, the Bruins get Taylor Hall. And it was automatic. So that's not a tough pick to make. The tough picks to make are the ones where you're sitting there at 16, 18, 22, and there are 9 or 10 different ways you can go. What was Jordan Caron overall? He was somewhere in the teens, right? So if you look at that draft year, there were some pretty good players behind him. Zach Hamill, the guy who went after him was Logan Couture. If there has ever been a guy that fits the Bruins mold, Logan Couture is certainly one of them.
Oh, yeah.
And for him to be on the board and for them to fall in love with Zach Hamill is just something that the team has to look back and say, wow, we just blew it. We just blew it on that one. And it's too bad. But, Caron is another guy who just hasn't panned out. He had a 5-game spell in the 2013 season where you thought, wow, that's what they saw in him. He's got what it takes. And then it just went fizz. It just didn't happen. And he's a good kid. He works hard. He's got a professional attitude, but just hasn't been able to produce in the game. He's not going to be a top 6 forward unless something dramatic happens. And that dramatic thing may just be a change of scenery, and maybe it'll be really good for somebody else.
Once again, we're talking with Jack Edwards from Nesson here, Boston Bruins. Jack, if you had to pick a player this year, that really you thought stood out above all, really for expectations-wise, really turned it around, who would that player be on the team that really got you saying, wow, I'm glad we picked this guy up, or I'm glad we had him in our system?
Carl Soderberg.
Yeah.
I was really impressed with the way he learned how to play the North American game and how he changed positions and proved to the Bruins staff that he could play center. Soderberg is a big body. He continued to get better throughout the season. He didn't shy away from the physical part of the game, which you see a lot of Europeans do when they come to North America. He showed really good skill, the ability to shoot. His finishing ability has got to improve. He had a little bit too much warning track power. It could have been goal-scoring stuff that the Bruins needed. But then again, it was his first year in the National Hockey League. I don't even count the cup of coffee in 2013.
Right.
That was his first real exposure to the grind of an NHL schedule and the rigors of the Stanley Cup playoffs. And from where I sat, I certainly liked what I saw. I think Carl Soderberg's going to be better, and maybe significantly better this season, because he's a really serious athlete. He's not a guy that sort of thinks everything's going to come easily. He understands the short earning window, it's a short opportunity to make his mark as a hockey player, and I get the feeling he's going to take advantage of it. He was a real pleasant surprise for me.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That would have been one of mine. It would have been him, and I think during the season, I think somebody like Kevin Miller, to me, had played phenomenal during the season. The expectations level with him, big kid, and not afraid to throw the weight around. Not afraid to throw the weight around at all either. Love it.
And you know what? That's one of the reasons that they could let go of Sean Thornton, because with the presence of a Miller or a McQuaid and the other guys who take care of themselves, even with the loss of a Ginla who mixed it up plenty, there are going to be guys on the ice that don't let it get out of hand. When the threshold is crossed by an opponent, they're going to feel it, and they should. And that's the way the game ought to be played.
Absolutely. Jack, well, listen, this is what we do. We're a little different than most of the radio shows you've been on. We like to have a little bit of fun. We cue some music up, and we're going to ask you one simple question. You're going to have 3 lovely ladies to choose from, and then we're going to kind of roll from there. You ready to have some fun on a Thursday?
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Hit it, Maestro. Hit it. I'm going to make sure I'm playing some of our genuine music for you right now, okay? But when Jack Edwards retires, where would Jack Edwards like to live someday? On an island, on a mountain, a beach? Where would you want to live? Mountain. On that mountain, Jack Edwards will need a fine assistant to take care of all of his day-to-day operations. I want you to pick which assistant you'd like. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. Paula Creamer, golfer in the LPGA Tour, number 1. Number 2, Kate Upton. We don't have to say much more than that. Or, number 3, the lovely and talented actress, Diane Lane.
I'd probably go Diane Lane, although I'd like to have a write-in ballot.
Go ahead, write it in. Go.
I'd go with Margot Robbie.
Oh,
Wolf of
good.
Wall Street.
Good choice, Wolf of Wall Street. You know what? I forgot about that. I might start having. You might have just made me add one more to it. That's beautiful. But I'm a Diane Lane fan, so I get all excited when you do that. By the way, Dave O'Brien.
I'm a pick, though, because she could be my daughter easily. That's terrible for
Me
me
too.
to say.
Listen, me too. By the way, Dave O'Brien from the Red Sox also picked Diane Lane yesterday, so you guys are in good company.
Yeah, all right. I like it.
I want to wish you a happy 4th. It was great meeting you during the playoffs, too, and I thank you for coming on the show, and good luck, and we'll see you. We look forward to seeing the Bruins kick it off with you at the helm next year.
All right, well, I'll try not to blow any fingers off tomorrow, and have a great 4th, everybody, and let's talk again later this summer.
I would love to do that. Thank you very much, Jack. That's Jack Edwards from the Boston Bruins in Nesson, and we also want to remind everybody it's 30 years anniversary for Nesson coming up this year, 30-year anniversary for Nesson, and the new summer series that will be coming off called Bruins Face Off starts July 10th at 8 p.m., so make sure you check it out on Nesson. It's called Summer Series. It's called Bruins Face Off, and if it's anything like the series that we just got to see with, they follow the Bruins all year long in games, which to me was fantastic. They had Dennis Leary using the voice. I love it. I love it when the Bruins do things like that. Gets them inside the locker room to see everything. So make sure you guys check it out again. July 10th, 8 p.m. Series starts off, Bruins Face Off. And again, thanks again, Nesson, for 30 years of great coverage, both for the Bruins and the Red Sox. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be wrapping up hour number 2. It's the Jim Censabella Show, live, ESPN Radio, New Hampshire. Go to espnnhradio.com. We'll be right back.
Meet the two Janes, Office Jane and Loon Mountain Adventure Jane. Office Jane on her way to work.
Ay, ay, ay.
Loon Mountain Adventure Jane with her family on the way to Loon.
Yeehaw!
Office Jane at her desk looking at 78 emails.
Where do I begin?
Loon Mountain Adventure Jane looking at 9 great Loon Mountain adventures for one low price.
Where do we want to start?
The zip line. The log jam maze.
Office Jane at the end of her day.
I'm so happy it's over.
Loon Mountain Adventure Center Jane at closing time.
It's over already?
Aww.
There's a little Loon Mountain Adventure Center inside everyone.
Kids, we're coming back tomorrow.
Let them out to play.
Yeah!
A Loon Mountain Adventure Pass gets you access to a whole day of adventure for just $33 for kids and $43 for adults. Loon Mountain, just 3 miles from Exit 32 off I-93 in Lincoln, New Hampshire. Scout your summer adventures at loonmtn.com. That's loonmtn.com. Or call 800-229-LOON.
Over here, are you looking for construction equipment? I've got just the source. Introducing allequip.com. Allequip is the new way to buy used construction equipment online from the folks at Iron Planet. Allequip is the source for hundreds of inspected items that are priced to sell and ready for work, guaranteed. If you're in the market for a great deal on scissor and boom lifts, skid steers, trenchers, backhoes, generators, forklifts, telehandlers, and more, you can find it all at Allequip. At Allequip, you'll know exactly what you're buying thanks to the guaranteed inspection reports on all items. Then simply click it and buy it online with a no-haggle pricing. Whether you want to build it, lift it, fix it, or move it, get the equipment to finish the job at Allequip. That's allequip.com. Go to Allequip and buy it now.
Play ball! Gee! What do you mean that was a strike? That was a ball! That was a strike! Ball! Strike! Ball! Ball! Ball? That was a ball!
Well, you're the boss.
Not a good negotiator? At Peters Kia of Nashua, you don't have to be. Because at Peters Kia, you'll always get their best price the first time on all your favorite Kia models. See how much you'll save at Peters Kia of Nashua, home of the complimentary lifetime powertrain warranty.
Hey, Lynn, how are you?
Great. It's been a while. You look good.
Thanks. Hey, can you tell? I knocked off a few pounds recently.
Yeah, I mean, you really look good.
Well, I can't take all the credit. I owe it to Dr. Waldman and his cool sculpting.
Who?
Dr. Waldman. He's right on Riverside Street in Nashua. I'm telling you, I never had a hard time with my appearance. I work out, I eat healthy, but I just couldn't get rid of these love handles until I had cool sculpting at Dr. Waldman's.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of Dr. Waldman and the new Cool Sculpting. The entire staff there's great. They'll sit down with you and consult on exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah, they made my cool sculpting experience comfortable and safe. No incisions, no downtime. Plus, I was back at the gym the same night.
And I must say, I like what I see.
Well, then I'll see you for dinner.
Absolutely.
Waldman Plastic Surgery and Dermatology on Riverside Street in Nashua. Make sure to mention this ESPN New Hampshire ad to get a free cool sculpting consultation with Dr. Waldman. Call 603-577-5559 or visit them online at Waldman Plastic Surgery and Dermatology.com. That's Waldman Plastic Surgery and Dermatology.com.
We're sick of hearing these guys talk so much, so give them a call at 603-883-9900. Scores, standings, trades, and rumors. This is the ESPN New Hampshire Sports Center.
The Boston Red Sox are off tonight. They'll welcome the Baltimore Orioles in for a 3-game set. The New Hampshire Fisher Cats are in Reading taking on the Fighting Phils, and they'll try to take 3 out of 4 in the 4-game set. Corey Aldridge looking for a home run in 3 straight. Tonight, weather permitting, the Nashua Silver Knights will welcome their hometown heroes and honor them in lieu of the 4th of July tomorrow. The fireworks for the 4th of July have been postponed to Saturday at 9 o'clock. Make sure to listen to all Silver Knight home games all season long on our sister station, WSMN 1590, with award-winning play-by-play broadcaster, best in the Granite State, Mr. Nick Onassis. Tom King, wherever you're listening, he's the best. Next Saturday is the NASCAR Sprint Series Loudon race. You can listen to the Christian and King Show all week long and win your chance for tickets to go up and see the big race at Loudon next Saturday. I'm Rich Flara, and this Sports Center was brought to you by CSA Graphics. For all your ESPN New Hampshire apparel, just visit espnnhradio.com.
It's been a quick show. I want to thank Jack Edwards from Nesson, Boston Bruins. He is the Dalai Lama. The guy is fantastic on calling a hockey game. He is fantastic.
Oh, he's awesome.
He's funnier even in person. We got to spend some time with him during the playoffs, and he's a funny guy. Andy Brickley is just they're two totally opposite guys. In fact, they don't even hang out when they walk around up there. One goes one way, one goes the other. They don't even hang out. I'll tell you what, Margot Robbie. Is that her name, Margot Robbie?
Yes.
She was in The Wolf of Wall Street. It was his wife, the blonde. Good God Almighty! You had to see her in the movie. You haven't seen the movie.
I have not seen the movie.
I would put her right up against Kate Upton any day. You got to find one in the bathing suit. You're looking at the images from movies, but you got to get like a bikini shot.
I'm still going with Kate.
Or reaching for the colander shot up on top of the shelf. Who's the other one? Alden Aiden.
Yeah. Elaine Alden. Correct.
That's Justin's pick.
She's pretty hot too.
Yeah.
Elaine Alden's pretty hot too.
She's damn hot.
Oh, well, I wouldn't say that much, but she's hot.
I'm saying
I still look at. Listen, we had Dave O'Brien, who's 50.
Yeah, but you guys.
He said, hang on. He said Diane Lane. Then we had Jack Edwards, who's 50, who said Diane Lane.
Yeah.
And I've always said Diane Lane. And so the season more mature
Diane
vets.
Lane, but I think when we're approaching. We're bringing in supermodels in their 20s. It's
Let me tell you something. Supermodel
does
nothing for me. I mean, what am I gonna? What do you do after? You got to chase them all the time. Diane Lane's a seasoned woman. She's a seasoned veteran. You will not want to leave anywhere without Diane Lane with you if she's your on your hook on your arm. I'm still saying it. I don't care who I end up with. If Diane Lane walks in, we're gonna have to learn to share. It's been a great show. I want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July. Coming up tomorrow. Again, be careful. The weather's going to be tough tonight. Hopefully, there's a game tonight. Nick and Asses join. It's Thursday, Thirsty Thursdays, down at the Silver Knights game tonight. Game's at 7 o'clock. Have mercy. Absolutely. Have mercy.
That's Elaine Alden.
I want to thank our guest, Tim Britton from
Damn
Providence
hard.
Journal, that joined us here at 3:30. And Jack Edwards again joined us from Nesson and the Boston Bruins at 4:30. Always a treat having Jack on. I'm signing off. I'm out of here. And I will not see you Monday. I'll be back on Tuesday. Well, for reasons we will not add. But it's a yearly. Every 5 years I give myself a present, and we'll go into the procedure to get it done. So there you go. I want to thank everybody who have a good time. Be safe. Don't blow your fingers off. Jim Censabella Show live in Nashua. ESPN Radio. Go to espnnhradio.com. We'll talk to you later.
Come to Bellman Jewelers in tax-free Manchester, New Hampshire to discover what the Bellman's Advantage is all about. Bellman's has always featured quality jewelry at a fair price with excellent service. Whether it's me or my husband, we always choose Bellman's because the majority of their finished jewelry and engagement mountings are manufactured in-house, eliminating the middleman, which saves us money. And of course, no sales tax. My husband knows to shop at Bellman's. Do you?
Bellman's Jewelers, located at 1650 Elm Street in Manchester, or visit them online at bellmans.com.
There's a place where action and adventure have no boundaries. A place where sunrise to sunset, all summer long, you can find an adventure around every turn. It's the Mountain Adventure at Cranmore, right in the heart of North Conway. Cruise down the mountainside on our mountain coaster, a thrill ride that screams through crazy twists and turns. Get into the trees at Aerial Adventure Park with 5 different rope courses for different ability levels. Conquer Cranmore's new climbing wall, or soar the 700-foot soaring eagle zip line. There's summer tubing, giant swing rides, bouncy houses, gem mining, and action for all ages. Cranmore is the summer playground where you can play all day. So come, find it all summer long here at Cranmore.
Cranmore is open daily through Labor Day from 10 to 6, then weekends